Hello and welcome to episode 69 of the Talk Nintendo podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Casey Gibson, and joining me this fine evening, the one, the only, Game of the Year, Perry Burkham.
I'm your Game of the Year.
Well, I should have said co-host of the year.
Dude, that's so funny because I was going to vote for me as co-host of the year as well.
He ran away with it.
Yeah, hey, guess what? It was so cold they closed school today.
Really?
Yep.
What are the...
It was negative 35 wind chill.
Babies.
Yeah, I know. But apparently there was kids that walked over a mile to school and they didn't want them to die.
Was it uphill both ways?
Both, yeah. Yeah, but it's pretty amazing. I mean, like, when I walked into work, like, seriously, like, when I, like, you know, I have a scarf, gloves, hat, like, beanie, coat, big coat. I almost died walking into work because I work kind of, like, outside of the city, so there's, like, tons of wind. Oh, it's so cold. And I have a beard, too, and it's like, whoa.
Was it snowing? Or is it going to be snowing or just
but it
ice
is covered in snow.
That's crazy.
It can't melt. Snow don't melt at negative 30.
Yeah, well, we had, like I said, I guess at this point, a week and a half ago or whatever it was, we had that big storm, so we got over a foot. And then, over the weekend or whatever, I guess it was over the weekend, it got pretty warm, like 40s, mid-40s, and then we got some rain, and that snow is all but gone, aside from, like, the parking lots where they pile up all the snow. You know, you obviously still have some of those, but
right.
I believe we're supposed to get, like, an inch or two tonight into tomorrow morning or something. Just enough to ruin the drive into work.
Dude, I remember I was, like, one year... it was when Tropical Freeze came out, and I was at home and I called into work because I just wasn't feeling that good, and it was snowing, and like I had it covered at work and stuff, and I called in and I played Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze all day while it was snowing outside. It was an amazing day.
That literally sounds
amazing
perfect.
Memories.
You know what I call those days?
Jimmy days?
I call those glory days. When you take off work or you don't have work or anything, and it's like you're playing video games all day. You might order a pizza for lunch, you know, and then eat the entire thing throughout the day, you know, for dinner as well. Maybe a 2 liter of no. 2 liter of Pepsi Cola, baby, and then you have yourself a glory day, man. Those are woohoo. My roommate in
you ruined it with the Pepsi, but.
When I lived, like, right after college, I came back home, and then I moved upstate New York to Utica. Not a very great little town or city. It's not too bad. It's sort of a dump. But
Burn.
It was great. Well, we had this really big apartment. I guess it was I guess you would consider it a house. But, like, the first floor was rented out to someone else, and then we had the second and third floor. Between the four of us, it was $162.50 a month. It was amazing. So, like, we each paid $1.62, and that was, like, included our utilities and everything. It was great. But anyway, that's where I was introduced to the Glory Day, and I've been living them ever since.
You know, here in town, we have a bar right down the street called Glory Days.
Oh, man. You should go down there with your Switch.
A couple blocks from me.
Go in there with your Switch one day and be like, I'm here for a Glory Day.
That's great. Well, hello everyone listening. This is Talk Nintendo Podcast. We are a podcast from NintendoWorldReport.com, and we are going to talk some video games.
That's what we do.
And at the end of this episode, for our topic of the show, we're doing, as Casey mentioned before, the Game of the Year with our top 10 lists.
Yeah, we've got some...
Which was much harder than last year.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've got some written in top 10s as well we'll go over. Yeah, it was funny because, I mean, I'll go into more about how I picked my games. But yeah, it was just like last year I was thinking back to like my top games and I'm like, man, they'd be pretty low on this list of 10 if they even broke the list.
No, seriously, I know.
It
and
was
here's
crazy.
the thing. Here's the thing. Like, you might think, I can't believe this isn't on your list. But it's not because these games are not amazing. It's not because I didn't enjoy these games. There's like 50 games that are incredible that came out on Switch. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
It was pretty dang hard.
I made some honorable mentions, so to just say like these were in the conversation, but didn't quite make the top. But
exactly.
But before we get into all of that, of course we're gonna save that for our second half of the show. We've got some games to talk about, and you've been playing a game for review, haven't you?
That's right, my first review of 2018, and that is Innerspace.
Ooh, was it out of this world?
No, it was into this world.
So tell me about Innerspace. I don't know anything about this game. Aside from that, I assume it takes place in outer space. Or inner space, I should say.
Okay, so let me set it up with this. It's Pilot Wings wrapped with Zelda.
All right, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, okay, now I got you. Now, instead of being out in a big open area in a big outer space, you are in the inverse. That's what they call it. It's an inverted universe. See, inverse. And all the gravity, instead of going in like into a planet, you're in like an inverted sphere, so you're like in like a 360 dome.
Okay, interesting.
Okay, now
and it all points to the center.
No, and that means it all points to the outside. So now there's water on the walls.
Okay, all right, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? So it's very interesting. So now on top of that, it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, everyone should check out the just at least check out screenshots or trailers. Oh my goodness, absolutely super vibrant, amazing colors, and also it's really hypnotic and mesmerizing. Honestly, like it's really really cool. So what you're a plane. I mean, like you're like literally like a plane, but it's like not like a jet or something, but like a mystical plane.
A mystical plane, gotcha.
Yeah, so you start the game and you wake up and you see this little like creature thing that's kind of like a boat, like a submarine in the water, and it's telling you that that you are a relic, you are a thing that he found and put together and created basically, and the whole point of the game is to explore the inverse, because it's the ruins of an ancient land. So you're figuring out all the history and what happened on this ancient land. Okay, so it's definitely the biggest thing is exploring and discovery in the game, and it's almost like a collectathon too. I mean, just like Pilot Wings, if you know what like going around getting the balloons, getting the rings, that kind of stuff,
going through little missions or whatever. But
I mean, like
checking the box.
Pilot Wings Resort was a big part of it was just going around the island and just exploring and then finding the balloons and popping them, and then just trying to get all the so like a collectathon. In this game, it's wind. They call it wind, and they're like little orbs of wind, and so they're hidden everywhere, and then you find relics too, and then when you find the relics, some of them are just historical, but some of them can actually upgrade your plane if you take it back, but you have to have enough wind to upgrade, so it kind of just works.
They play hand in hand a little bit.
Yeah, it's really simple. The game is very simple. Now, where it could lose people, this game is totally not for everyone. Whereas I could say anyone could play Pilot Wings Resort, because it's just so simple and easy, right? I mean, there's nothing to it. Well, not that it's easy, but it's accessible.
It's easy to control. At least
this game, exactly. This game is easy. I mean, the control is not the issue. Big part of it now, and this is one of the things that this is not necessarily an issue, but I think this is something that people can flip a coin over or like two sides of the coin, where if
It
they
might
like
be a
it or
good thing
not.
for some people, but not
Exactly,
everyone.
exactly. And that is that it's very, you don't know what's going on really at all. I mean, you talk with the archaeologist, the guy the little creature in the water, and he'll tell you kind of what's going on, and very very nice, quirky, very nice characterization with this guy, or whatever it is. It's really cool. Like he's very, you can tell he's very passionate for what he's doing, and like he's very excited. He's just
To
excited
explore and learn about everything.
To explore. Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, he made you because he can't fly, so you go around and help him. So like it's the very first, like there's these demigods that are in that you can find, and then you somehow do something like with them, to
Sounds
basically
perverted.
unlock them. Yeah, and you unlock them, like, to talk to them, and then it's hard to explain. But anyway, like the first one is really weird. You don't know what to do. It's like this, and I'm not going to spoil anything because I think it's kind of part of it, right? It's kind of like in Zelda. It's like when you don't really know where to go or what to do. That feeling happens a lot, but it's usually
discovering
rewarded.
stuff is part of the rewarding aspects of the game, it sounds like.
Exactly. A big part of it is just, we'll just push through, figure it out. I also was helped a little by Justin Nation, because he was reviewing it too, and so he kind of helped me with a part. So, it is a little obtuse, and the thing is just like Zelda, I think just like Majora's Mask is so obtuse, right? I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, as far as some of the masks, like if you weren't using some sort of guide.
Yeah.
If you were
exactly.
try to do that completely blind the first time, that,
exactly.
A little crazy.
Yeah, so it's like, it really harkens back to that old. And the thing is the sound design and the sound effects, they just remind me, like they gave me the feels, the nostalgic, feelings of like when, just like when you're talking with the archaeologist, it has these really fun little sound effects, and it just reminds me of like a Zelda. Like it's
got
Zelda-like.
the charm.
It really does. I mean, obviously it's not as good as Zelda, right? The charm of Zelda, but I mean, it's gorgeous, and it harkens a lot to it. So I really enjoyed it. But the thing is, it was kind of a slow burn. Like I didn't immediately enjoy it. I immediately enjoyed aspects of it.
Yeah, I imagine just looking at the screenshots, there were probably a lot of like stop and look around moments where it's like, oh my god, because it really does. Like, it's so colorful. Like it looks like amazing. It would be a joy to explore that world.
It's a very beautiful game. So I would say, if you're interested, check out my review at NintendoWorldReport.com. I go into the controls a little bit and everything there more, and you can see pictures there. But speaking of other games that I've reviewed, I think you are finally catching up.
Finally, dude. I've been wanting this game for so long. Pretty much, I remember you talking about it, and this game is Enter the Gungeon. And, it piqued my interest for sure when you were talking about it. Like you said, it sort of has that goner feel to it, roguelike, but still sort of progressing towards something. And I was like, okay, this sounds definitely right up my alley, which is funny because if you said that a year ago, I don't know if that would be right up my alley. 2017 was the year of the roguelikes for me, but
oh, yep.
So
me too, buddy.
So I was interested, and then when I was putting the Nindy report together, Enter the Gungeon was one of the games we decided to highlight, and I finally got to see, I'd looked at some screens when we were talking about it, but to finally see it really in action as I was editing that video together, and I was just like, oh my god, like this is amazing. I know, like, you talked about how all the enemies are like bullets, shotgun shells.
They're just so wonky and quirky.
It's so, I know, it is just outrageous. It is so outrageous. And it's just so much fun. It really gives me a lot of Binding of Isaac feels as well. Especially how because with Binding of Isaac, it's pretty similar where you go into a room and it sort of closes up, right? And then you have to kill the enemies in that room, and then the doors open up, and then you can sort of push forward. So
same perspective.
Yeah, very similar in that sense. Explore the level, make your way down, so on and so forth. So, right off the bat, that's a game I really enjoyed. So now I'm thinking like, okay, this is great, but this is a tough game. I picked it up. I guess it was Sunday, and we record on Tuesday. So I've only had it for a few days, and I'm still trying to progress. And I was going to talk to you actually earlier today, and I said I might as well wait till we're talking about it on the show. So I've gotten, I think, down to the 3rd level. It's sort of like you explore the first level, and you get to a boss, and you could go fight that boss right away, or you keep exploring and try and find some more guns or armor or whatever. Then you fight the boss, then you work your way down to the next level, so on and so forth. So I guess what I was going to ask is, how far does it go down until you beat, or quote unquote beat, that level? I guess it might be some spoilers, but
yeah, there's 4. There's either 4 or 5 dungeons, where you go through. So that's, those are, each level is like a dungeon.
Okay, I gotcha.
Man, now that
I don't think, because I've
mixed up now.
Yeah, because I've gotten down 3 levels, and it looks pretty similar, like they're the same quote unquote dungeon,
Yeah.
But I'm gonna push through and figure it out. But
I'm getting so mixed up. I can't remember.
I know it's when too many games.
I can't remember how the levels and the structure works. But yeah, and the game is freaking hard. But that dodge roll is so cool,
Oh, and it's funny because sometimes you sort of almost want to forget about it when you're like weaving in and out when you've got just sort of one enemy coming at you, and you're like, okay, I don't need to dodge. I could sort of keep always firing and sort of just jive and move away from it. But then all of a sudden, when you have multiple enemies coming, then all of a sudden now it's like the bullets aren't coming at you in any sort of pattern, as if it were from one enemy. Now it's just like a bullet hell, so it's like, okay, I gotta utilize that roll. But you also need to make sure that you're not going to roll through, to avoid a bullet or two, but then find yourself right, in the path of a bullet when you sort of come out of the roll, because you're invincible when you're rolling, but then when you sort of reestablish yourself, pretty much it's just a diving somersault out of the way. So when he reestablishes himself on his feet, obviously you become vulnerable again, and I've done it plenty of times where I've dodged it and then just like right into a friggin' bullet,
Yeah.
But I mean, this game, I'm enjoying it so much. I think a few things I wanted to say is, first and foremost, the game looks incredible. Some of the earlier levels, you're sort of going through, I guess it looks like a library or some sort of, a lot of books around, and like there'd be tables with books, and what's cool is you can flip those tables to sort of give yourself shield from the bullets. But
like in an action movie.
Yeah, and then you could push the table a little bit too as you're moving into it. And it's funny because the enemies will actually do that as well. I've had a couple times where I'm like, wait, there must be one enemy. Where is he? And then you run down the screen a little bit, and he's friggin' hiding behind the table. I'm like, what are you doing, you little bullet? Get over here.
That's hilarious.
But it just like, even when you flip the desk and all the pages from the book go flying, and it just really detailed, really great looking. And what I wanted to comment on was how smart it was to add those warps on the floor.
Oh, yes.
So when you're going through the levels, it's pretty much, like I said, you go in a room, then there'll be a door, and there'll be a little path to the next room, and it's just a bunch of random rooms with enemies.
There can be multiple, there's branching paths.
Yeah, you might get into a room that has 3 different exits, and you can go explore where those exits go, and some of those times you're going to run into a dead end, and usually at the end it'll be like, oh, here's a treasure chest, and then like, oh, that's what, go back to where you were and check one of the other paths out. Now, the levels aren't ginormous, so if you did have to run, like, it wouldn't be something I would, like, look back at this game like, oh my god, like I had to run back after I got to a dead end. But it's just so convenient because a lot of the bigger rooms have portal, a warp zone. So when you clear that room, it opens up the warp, and you could just hop in between rooms like that. It is so easy.
Yep.
It is so convenient. Initially I wasn't using it, and I was like, oh, that's right, like these warps, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so much better. And just a little on top of that coolness is the warps are just like, they look like a revolver chamber with the 6 bullets.
Yeah. Everything. Single thing is an obsession of a gun. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm just, oh man, I'm having so much fun with it. It's funny, actually, on each level there's like a merchant. So you go in there and, he has random things for sale. Usually a gun, and then, you could buy some extra hearts, or you could buy, a shield or what have you. And the one time I went in there, guns a-blazing, and he's like, hey, stop that. And I was like, well, let me just see what happens here. So I just kept shooting, and all of a sudden he pulled out like this big, huge gun, dude, and the whole room went to bullets, and I ran out of there. And then I went back in, and everything was gone. He took his wares and he left. And then when I went down on the next floor to the merchant's room, he wasn't there still, and I was like, oh, I guess he's gone for this run. I thought that was pretty funny.
That is funny. He's like, dang it, I can't stand people keep shooting at me. I'm leaving.
Yeah, dang it, I hate you.
That's it. I'm going fishing.
Yeah.
It'd be great if it saw him pick up like fishing gear and leave.
But he just shoots the fish. That's it. I'm gonna go shoot some fish in a barrel.
Yeah, it's like the barreler, that gun that you shoot fish out of. It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
I've gotten some really wacky guns too. Like one was some sort. I got a water gun one of the times, and it just like it was actually pretty strong, believe it or not. I'm trying to think. There was one where I found this chest, the Muncher, I believe it was called, and I had to throw 2 guns in there, and then it spit me out a super sniper rifle that had like that thing was powerful.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to see what other guns we have there, and what other enemies. Obviously I feel like I've barely scratched the surface because, like I said, this game is definitely very, very difficult. So that is something to be weary of if you're not looking for that kind of thing. But I think with some practice, I mean, I could already tell I'm getting better, with the dodging and whatnot. So,
oh yeah,
no, this is a game I'm definitely going to keep on playing. It's a shame I didn't get to play it earlier. I mean, I have not put enough time into it, like, to determine, it's definitely not on my top 10, but I could see if I had more time with it prior to us doing this list, that maybe it could have found its way on there somehow. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and yeah, if you like roguelikes, definitely worth a shot to check out.
Perfect. Well, let's end our what we've been playing segment with a little demo that came out on the eShop, which we haven't been very demo heavy on this show.
No, but we finally gotten around to Octopath Traveler.
No,
just kidding.
We have been playing another Square demo.
We sure have.
And that is Dragon Quest Builders. Yeah, Dragon Quest Builders. To be honest, like, I have Minecraft on Wii U. I don't hate it, but it never hooked me. Minecraft never hooked me. Even just from the get-go. I thought it was really fun. I love the creating. That's a lot of fun. I never played the survival mode, which I know that's like the big thing with people, whatever. Playing Dragon Quest Builders, it basically immediately hooked me, just from the get-go. And basically, it's like the difference between a Western RPG and a Japanese RPG. And I feel like Minecraft is the Western, and this is the Japanese take on Minecraft. And I absolutely love it. Have you been playing it?
Now,
at all?
well, I was gonna say I have not played very much of it. I will be upfront with that.
Yeah, me neither.
But
I've only played like maybe like an hour and a half, maybe.
yeah, I was probably more in like the half hour to 40 minutes range.
Yeah.
So essentially, when the demo kicks off, you create your character, and there's a few little options. You know, it's like hair color, eye color, skin color. Yeah, it's not really too much, but enough to give you a little, flavor of your own character, I guess. And then you wake up, and it turns out you were like a special man because you can build, oh my god, builders have been extinct, you know what I mean? Like all the builders died, and
the concept of building,
it is gone.
It is gone. Yeah.
So now that you are back and you can build, you're the savior. So they sort of give you the tutorial, you know what I mean? Like, okay, so you're down here, here. There's a stick over there. Why don't you build a little tool, And then you could I got a little sort of stick pickaxe thing. I could sort of break up some dirt that I can repurpose as stairs to get out of here, yada yada. Then you find a little town, and they sort of start you off with your first sort of goal. I guess your overlying goal, at least for now, is to rebuild this town and, just start doing stuff, rebuilding what was lost. So
populate it, and you. So you meet this girl. Is it Pippa?
Yep.
I think is her name. And and so basically she guides you here, and she's make a room with 2 beds to sleep in.
I like that a room constitutes 2 blocks high, a door, and a light source, but it does not need a roof.
No, I'm wondering how that's gonna, because I haven't really looked into this game at all. I don't know if you ever put roofs on stuff.
I think you can for sure.
I assume you can, and I wonder
they probably
if you can still see through it and stuff.
Yeah, I'm assuming. I mean, I'm assuming it's probably got to be like Minecraft, where it would just pull the camera in. So I mean, if you literally made it 2 blocks high, it might look crappy in there. But I'm assuming they just didn't want to complicate things with having to have a roof on it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you can also, I don't know if you noticed, you can change the camera angle to be really close to your guy right behind you, which is really cool.
I didn't play around too much with that, but that sounds like it could be good.
Yeah. Now, what I want to talk about is this really scratches an Animal Crossing itch, because I love how the little town, how you get further on and you make the different rooms, and you can just put them how you want, and you can shape the rooms, and I just think, man, this is exactly what I've always wanted in Animal Crossing. What if you had a plot of land and you could literally design the shapes of your rooms? I just think that would be so cool. And
that would be
where
interesting.
to put windows, and you know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
Full control.
Yeah, and I just think that it's a lot of fun. And it's just a very, from what I've played, it's extremely basic, but it's very guided, which is the opposite of how Minecraft is, which has no guidance at all.
Yeah,
which I get it. I get that being a thing, but
I was gonna say I wonder if once you start to get through it, like this is the demo / tutorial, you know what I mean? And once you sort of get through that, they let your hand go. But yeah, that's the biggest thing for me with these creation games is, especially like Minecraft. Yeah, like here you go. Go do literally whatever you want. And it's like, I like to be pointed in a direction, with my video games. That's why it's like generally...
Well, at least show me what I can do and give me an option, then let me do
Minecraft really is...
I know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, Minecraft really is like, well, here you go. Go look online if you want to learn how to build something,
Yeah. But in this game, it just has character. Like, this game... I think that
the music...
I've laughed... In the music,
it has that.
It's
I think
amazing.
I'm pretty sure the song I heard I'm pretty sure it was like a take on the original Dragon Quest or
has to be
a Dragon Warrior game. It would be called actually.
Right.
I love Dragon Quest music, man. It is so good.
Yeah. Remember they had that Dragon Quest Theatrhythm?
Oh yeah, man. Yep. I would have. Well, did that come out to the West?
Nope.
Okay, I was gonna say because I bought Final Fantasy Theatrhythm or whatever the heck it's called.
Yeah.
I would have bought in Dragon Quest.
You know what's funny is that I'm pretty sure this is my first Dragon Quest game that has the anything to do with Dragon Quest. You know what I mean?
And it's nothing like Dragon Quest.
Well, yeah, I know.
No, I know.
I just mean anything with that
with the franchise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I really think you should play a Final Fantasy, a Dragon Quest game. I really do think they'd be up your alley.
Yeah, once it comes to Switch, for sure.
I tell you what, man. I know you don't want to dust
Switch.
off that 3DS, but if you did,
that's the Dragon Quest machine.
Yeah, I mean,
you can play them all on there.
Dragon Quest 7 is so good. Although I feel like that's not the one most people would suggest. I hear 8's really fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, back to Builders. Basically, I'm really enjoying it, and I love the character. I love the charm. It's not like this really crazy, like, it's not mind blowing, but it is fun, and I really actually, I like the guidance, I like the fun, and I liked the dialogue with everything. So, do you know when this comes out?
Let me see. I don't have an exact date right here, but I'm pretty sure it's relatively soon, February 9th.
I hope it is. Okay, cool.
Now, is this a game you're gonna buy?
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm looking at screenshots here, and like, obviously they're gonna show some really cool stuff. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
the buildings look incredible, and like the plot of land here that I presume is your sort of city. I guess what's cool is that we didn't touch on is you get like the rally flag or whatever, and you sort of slap that down, and then that's sort of like your town center, I believe, and then it sort of builds out from there.
It's your save
so I
too.
wonder if you could just slap that down anywhere moving forward in the game. Like, oh, this looks like it could be a good spot to sort of set up shop. But
I mean, and I think this has Fantasy Life stuff too. I mean, I never played Fantasy Life. My wife did. Did you play Fantasy Life?
Sure did.
Now, I mean, and you go out and there's actual like combat too, and there's fighting, so you can actually get more stuff. You can craft bigger, better weapons to take out more things, and you also get fall damage, and so there's a bit of an actual adventure game to it, too, like of
yeah, I'm looking at the screens.
Stuff, so.
I'm looking at the screens on Nintendo's website, and yeah, there's like a fire-breathing dragon, and it looks like you have some sort of big hammer or mallet, big crab.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wonder
I don't
how.
know. I'm pretty dang excited to play it.
So you're gonna buy it day one?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. I mean.
And you know what? I'm looking at on Best Buy, it's $50, and with Gamers Club Unlocked, it's $40.
Oh,
so
man.
it's not even,
Heck yeah.
And that's for physical. So that might be a game I look into too. Yeah, I haven't. I'm not usually a big demo man. I usually know whether I'm going to buy a game or not.
Dude. Yeah, me too. But this was a game. It's like I legitimately, just so how interested. Just so you know, I almost bought this on Vita. That's how interested in. Yeah. It was like, well, because it's a perfect fit for Vita. I mean, like it's a really cool looking game that I wanted to try, because it's just like, okay, it's Minecraft but with the story and with stuff to do, and I know it's not. I mean,
and it actually
this is.
I was gonna say, I know Minecraft now has become like Steve, right? Is the Minecraft guy, and it's like, and that has its certain level of charm, but like.
Of course,
it's like Dragon Quest actually has like an art direction. You know what I mean? Like, it actually has.
Well, yeah.
Like I know Minecraft does,
Minecraft
and like
crazy.
I get it.
And not to rag on Minecraft, because that's a really obviously a really amazing game that is like the biggest game of all time. It's just not my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it. I think it's cool. I think it's cool that everyone loves it. But like, I really want something like more like this. It's kind of like Minecraft is Pepsi, and this is like Dragon Quest Builders is like Coke.
Other way around, my friend. No, but yeah, I don't know. This is definitely going to be a game on my radar. We'll see how I'm sitting come February 9th if I would have time.
What? There's not. I mean, like, you know what I mean. There's not a lot of crazy stuff coming out. You know what I mean? So, and I think, Nintendo's publishing this, right?
I'm not sure.
I think they are. And I believe
Yep. Nintendo publisher.
And it's coming. Dragon Quest Builders 2 is coming.
Yeah, that's not
Switch.
too off.
which
I don't even think that one's out yet for any of the other systems either.
I know, but it's just like it makes me so excited. Like that there's more of it coming, and I can't wait. I can't wait to play this game. I mean, I'm not like I'm not like giddy for it, but I really am looking forward to sinking my.
Borderline giddy.
I'm
giddy adjace.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, it's it'll be interesting. I actually real quick aside, as far as games coming out in February, are you gonna get Bayonetta 2?
No.
No?
No.
All right. Yeah, I actually, it's funny. I had the pre-order for like the special edition of through the UK Amazon or whatever, and then I canceled it. I was like, I shouldn't spend $90 or it was like $80 something on this special edition for a game I already got. And like I'm going to be doing the review of the first one. So it's like I should just save my money. Be good, Casey, for once. And it sucked. Every bit of it sucked.
Good job, Case. Oh, I'm sorry.
Nah, you know what it is? It's like I'm a sucker for a special edition. But you know what? I'm a majority of my special editions are RPGs and stuff, so it's like I'll limit my special editions to just the RPGs.
Good job there, buddy. We know that's not true.
Growing up sucks. Responsibilities suck.
Yeah. But so that's gonna do it for our what we've been playing. But we have this something extra here. An email from a listener
from Holden.
From Holden. That's the name.
Yes, sir.
That they have. And do you want to read it?
Sure.
We can switch off maybe the paragraphs.
Sure. So he starts off with, "Hello, Talk Nintendo, Happy New Year, and all that other jazz. Firstly, I wanted to say that because of your show, I've purchased 3 indie games on your recommendation. Kingdom's New Lands, Stick It to the Man, and Blossom Tales. I have to say, while I'm not normally so susceptible to being sold by the recommendations of others, it might just be that your general positivity and excitement for games is rather infectious, though I must state said positivity as one of your flaws if I felt so inclined. All in all, all in all, I just hope that Nintendo is giving you your cut. They're not.
I hate Nintendo." Well, thank you. That's actually really nice to say. I would say that, our positivity is one of our flaws. But everyone has a flaw.
And
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it could be a worse flaw. We could be big jerk bags.
Yeah. Anyway, he goes on to say, as for the 3 games I purchased, I enjoyed them all. Stick It to the Man is enjoyable for its accessible adventure game mechanics. Blossom Tales is a safe second of the 3. The Fireball spell in particular is just wonderful. I hope one of you found it. Spoilers! Sorry. Yet the greatest of these was the enrapturing Kingdom New Lands. From the myriad of ways the cryptic world shifts and alters from your very simple inputs and the moments of tension amidst your hurried ride to your defenses during the inevitable night raids. Oh, you're talking my language right now. As well as the excitement of sending out a sortie and is that a word? Is sortie a word?
It might be.
I'm going to say it. It might be. Sending out a sortie of knights against your foe. I honestly believe other sim games should predicate their design from it and that there's plenty of room to expand that design. Kingdom New Lands is amazing, and I'm so glad that we have a listener that understands. Because Casey, this is one of the games that Casey didn't get to sink his teeth into. So
no, it's on the list, but
for sure,
I will get to it.
I get it. Yeah, and we'll talk about it later. But they go on to say, I also had a question this week. It's very granular and pertains to ARMS.
He says, "What are your thoughts on the grab in ARMS? I've spent more than 50 hours in the game, and I still have trouble reading the grab in the game. It's slightly easier to dodge, but parrying it is very difficult. I don't know if it's a visual or perhaps an audio cue, but it comes as unsuspecting and creates a delay in my reaction. I like to think that with dedication and craft, one could overcome such challenges, but sometimes it feels if that you're at the end of your rope. Perhaps you've something akin to this. And that's when he says, anyway, love the show, Holden. So as far as ARMS goes, I mean, first and foremost, thank you very much for the email. We always appreciate when you guys write in. It's humbling and awesome to hear from you guys. But that being said, as far as ARMS goes, I know when I first started, and I haven't played ARMS in a hot minute, which I know for a couple episodes now said we need to get back into it, but that's a true statement. In the beginning, I felt like I would get grabbed all the time because I would always jump. So pretty much whenever I sent a grab out, for some reason or another, it was just like muscle memory that I'd jump and then I'd throw my arm, like my grab out. I'd generally miss and then I'd get counter grabbed pretty often, you know what I mean?
I think we have video evidence of this somewhere.
I know, and you know what it is? It's one of those stupid things where it's like, I know what I'm doing. It's like I'm jumping and I'm throwing arms out, and then that guy knows it's coming, and then he can just counter it so easy. And just you've done it before. Muscle memory takes over, and it's like
of course.
So yeah. I got a little better at that. As far as parrying it, I feel like my majority was trying to block it. I mean, trying to just dodge it outright. I guess. Because I guess to parry it, you would need stronger arms, right? Generally, the bigger arms are able to sort of knock the punch away or the grab away. Like,
well, no, there's a way. I mean, yeah, don't you punch the grab, right? I don't think you need.
Yeah,
I think
maybe it's just more
stronger?
successful when it's because I feel like I'm trying to think of like a character like Master Mummy or just really any character that had like one of those really big like ball arms, wrecking balls. I feel like any success I ever had at sort of knocking the grab away was when I had one of those in there. That it's just sort of overpowered the other person.
Right.
But I don't know if maybe there is some sort of trick that sort of helps to cue that,
Yeah, I mean, I am no fighting game person. I mean, ARMS is definitely the game I've played most of in this genre. And it's just like what really has helped me is playing in the pro mode, the whatever, not the ranked mode, I mean. Because playing against actual people is way different. But then I just learned, like Casey was saying, not to jump and just kind of to be to dodge. It's all about the dodging. Really, is how I get away from grabs. I like never parry ever. Parry never parries.
I was gonna say you're always parry.
But so like I have no knowledge into what could be done and what's the best thing to do. That's all I know. And so, I do realize, like, when you play it safe in the game, I usually play a lot better instead of being super, out there with what I'm doing. But, yeah, I mean, it's weird. I think they say a visual or perhaps audio cue, but it comes off as unsuspecting and creates a delay in my reaction. And I know that exact feeling, and I just figured that was just me.
You're not
because
alone.
I stink at the game. Yeah. But ARMS is so good. And we may talk about ARMS in the next segment. So it's possible.
Spoilers.
So. I'm just saying it's probably possible,
Yeah, at absolute worst it would be an honorable mention, I'd imagine.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you again for the email, Holden. That was really nice. If anyone else wants to send us emails about anything just like that, you can send it to
the longest email ever.
TALK. I'm gonna run the jingle right now. Here you go.
There you have it, guys.
Yes.
There it is.
It's that simple.
Let's hear it one more. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, well, let's I hear the music
Oh man.
playing.
And I know we've been sort of joking around about the Switch eShop being big and hardy, but I think it might be returning to form after a couple of lull weeks.
Yep.
But we'll find out
Yep.
about that in just a minute.
Giddy up.
Alrighty, we are back, and it is that time once again, Perry, for the
What
old...
time?
The eShop Roundup.
Wait. You ready?
Yeah. I think. But it's Switch time, baby, and yeah, we're gonna start off with. What are we gonna start off with?
The Pokken Battle Pack, clocking in at a stellar $74.98. Now, this is going to include all of the DLC that's upcoming, right? Like the Blastoise Pokemon and all the support
whatever that
Pokemons
other
we
one's
talked
called.
about.
Yeah, they call them like Blast, or they call them Battle Pack Wave 1 and Wave 2. So they call them waves.
So it's got both the waves plus the base game. So I don't think it's any discount. I'm pretty sure it's literally
No,
just
it's probably why
paying.
it's $74.98.
Yeah.
Man, $15.
You know what though?
For
$15 for 2 characters and 4 support characters is not terrible when you think of like how they priced Smash.
I
It's probably
guess,
pretty similar.
But they price. Ugh. I thought Smash's prices was so bad. the
Smash
DLC.
was just weird because there was so many things added in the DLC.
Yeah.
You know, obviously the characters are the ones most people care about the most.
Yeah, like
but
the
there was
Mii
also
costumes.
the costumes, the different stages.
Stages.
Yeah, so it was weird because I think when you piece that all together, that game costs like $150 or something, or something.
Yeah.
something crazy,
And
like a lot of
I
money.
only bought Bayonetta,
I
but even then, I shouldn't have.
well
Even
initially
though I like Bayonetta.
Initially, I was buying, like, the both. You know what I mean? How it was, like, a couple extra dollars, and you'd get it for the 3DS and the Wii U version.
Yeah.
So I started off doing that, and then I was like, it's like, I am not playing this 3DS version. You know what I mean? And, like, I think the one time I even gave the DLC code away to a friend, I was like, I just need it. Look, I'm just getting the Switch or the Wii U stuff now. And then ultimately, yeah, I was like, I gotta stop buying all this. I'm just buying the characters and their stages, and that's it. But
Yeah.
there was a lot of money to be spent in that game if you wanted to.
Seriously. But yeah, so that's Pokken. If you like that, there you go. But we're gonna move on to Moron. You moron. Morhun Knights and Castles. And this looks like has to be a mobile game. It looks like Angry Birds, and it's for the low price of
$29.99. Ooh. Yeah, I'm looking at the screenshots, and it definitely gives off sort of that vibe. It looks like an Angry Birds, but you have your own base. So, like, sort of ranged combat between the two bases.
Yeah, kind of like it kind of reminds me of Worms. If anyone's seen Worms.
Yeah, it looks better than an Angry Bird. So I wouldn't want to just lump it into something as simple as that.
Really?
Like, Angry Bird was what? You take it and you launch, right? And you try. It's like a puzzle game. This looks more like a tactical kind of game.
Not better, but more complicated.
Yeah,
more complex.
Yeah, I don't.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's not
Gotcha,
a
yeah.
straight rip-off or clone. It doesn't look like so.
Right.
But yeah, so
hear you.
it's sort of expensive though.
But man, $30. Jeez.
Yeah, that's some cabbage right there. Mm-hmm. But next up, we've got Rally Racers for $9.99. Now this looks like a little kart racer game, but it also sort of looks like a mix of almost like Excite Truck Not quite.
I've never played Excite Truck.
Ooh,
Which is a
really?
crying shame, I know, yeah.
That was I bought that with my Wii on launch day.
Yep.
That game's super fun.
Totally, I've always wanted to play it. But Rally Racers is where road rage becomes raging fun.
Whew. Man, I hope someone got paid extra for that headline.
It's wacky cartoon racing at its best.
Those are very contradicting statements, I feel like. We're and then all of a sudden, wacky cartoon racing.
Well, it says raging fun, so raging fun. But yeah, it looks like you just, you're fighting stuff and Mario Karty, and it looks fine. $10. Why not?
Dude, this next game. Okay, next up we have Energy Invasion for $2.99. Now, the reason I was sort of chuckling right there was because I'm looking at the screens at on Nintendo's site right there, right? And it's like the screens are like, it looks like a brick breaker kind of thing. But like next to, then, all right, I see the screens, I'm scrolling down, let me see what this game's all about. And there's just this strangely dressed woman in like a sort of weird, provocative stance, maybe. But like then I'm looking at the screens and it doesn't look like there's any people represented in this game at all. You know what I mean? It's just sort of
right.
So I'm like, that's sort of like weird concept art that they slapped on the page there. But I believe this game was reviewed by Don Koopman. Yep. And I believe, yes, okay, I pulled up the review here now. I think you guys should read Don's review. He's a great writer. But just to spoil it a little bit, he gave it a 1.5 out of 10. So, from what I've heard, this game. All right, I'm just gonna blow this whole this whole review. Pros and cons. Pros: it works. Cons: controls are annoying. Just an unpleasant game in general. Terrible imagery and visual effects will give you a migraine.
Yeah, I believe Justin Nation. I think Justin Nation said like that this might take the crown for Vroom in the Night Sky.
Man, it just squeaked in there at the end of the year too, to make it so eligible for the worst game of the year.
What was it in there? Did it release before?
I'm pretty sure, right? It released. Oh no. Okay, never mind. It just released, so it's the front runner for 2018's.
There you go.
Poop game of the year.
The GOTY.
It's gonna get itself a Jimmy Award for worst game of the year.
We should have the Jimmys.
That would be so good.
That's great, and we already know what this year's Jimmy is going for, and that's for Vroom in the Night Sky.
Oh, that's so funny.
All right, but next up we have Art of Fighting 2. This is your hamster toss.
I was gonna say, is that a Neo Geo game?
Yep, and this is the one we actually kind of talked about last week because it was on the Direct.
Yep.
Because
why not?
Whatever. Yeah, like why not? But it's a fighting game that you thought I could have sworn this was released, but it wasn't. It looks like Street Fighter. Anyway, let's move on.
Next up here, we've got Of Mice and Sand Revised. Now, I see you put a little bullet note here, and you got me last time, but you're not getting me again.
Dang it.
It is the spiritual successor to Steinbeck's classic, says Perry. Fool me once, shame on me.
Yeah.
Fool me twice.
Good job, buddy.
Or shame on you,
Good
whatever.
job. I really thought you wouldn't get that.
No.
Get that, yeah.
I'm more observant than
Dang
you.
I was all planning on to
then I let
grab
on.
the last. I was gonna grab the last stinger from that episode and put it on the end.
Not today, my friend.
You ruined it all. Whatever.
I'm glad to spoil your plans.
Yeah. Yeah. I know you are. You always are glad. So, this is Of Mice and Sand, revised. So this came out on Wii U, and I believe in one of these.
Wasn't it for 3DS?
Maybe 3DS. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like 3DS.
Yeah. But there's a big rainbow poop in one of the like a gigantic building-sized
that thing's huge.
Rainbow poop. Yep.
That looks like a unicorn poop.
Yeah. I don't know. The game looks really blurry from the screenshots. Like it's not.
It didn't scale
like
well.
Yeah, exactly. So
I wonder if anyone's out there playing it. Although I'm looking at the. I
think James Jones is reviewing it for the site.
We'll have to talk to him and see what he has, what he says or thinks about it.
Yeah. All right. Dang it.
Next
I thought
up.
you were gonna say it.
Yeah, not today, my friend.
I can't believe you remembered that. I can't believe
the good guys win. The good guys win this round.
But next up we have Draw Stickman Epic 2, which is a very interesting looking game, and it's $6.99. Now, I remember like when this game, I was maybe gonna review it. Like I just saw that it was coming out or something, and I remember looking up. I believe I looked up like what this game was, and I was like, it's probably just a, like a silly little
like Scribble Knots. That's what it sort of looks like to me.
Yeah, or I just mean like an indie game, you know what I mean? And like, not like a
smaller
game at all. But like looking at videos online, like the videos have like Draw Stickman Epic 2. This first video up here has 6,431,000 views.
Dang. I wonder.
So,
I wonder
it's
if
just like
that's just people who were like for some reason are googling. Because I remember. Okay, it was like.
Yeah, the trailer has 1,766,000 views.
Because I'm thinking of like just people who aren't necessarily interested in the game, but are just YouTubing how to draw a stickman, or like
maybe
because I remember there was. I think.
Are people YouTubing how to draw a stickman?
Well, I'm going to say because. Pretty much kind of funny. They're a group of guys, they make videos and stuff, and like one of their shows was like a love and sex related thing, so one of the titles was like how do I have sex or something like that, and they're like, yeah, that one has so many more views than any of our other videos just because that's something I guess people YouTube a lot, or like
yeah.
more than any other thing that just happened to not necessarily be looking for that video, but just like Google or YouTubed it and that happened to pop up.
So then what should we name our episode then?
Yeah. I don't know. Something. I don't know. We'll have to think of something good. How to make a paper airplane.
Mine. How to make a...
I bet you there's a lot of views on that first video.
I love it. It's perfect. All right.
Yeah, look at that. How
Done.
to make a paper airplane. Best paper planes in the world. 16 million views.
Yes. Okay, we're going to do that then. How to make a paper airplane.
And the video starts up. This guy just chucking a paper airplane out the window. Anyway.
That's amazing.
Next up we got here. Is it Fury? Is that how you? Fury with an I for $19.99. Now, this game right here, I guess is sort of like a fighting game, right? Or action shooter adventure game. Sort of looks like
pretty freaking sweet from the screenshots.
Yeah, the art direction is really cool. Very vibrant colors.
I like the desert.
It looks like, I guess, maybe adventure game with some sword play, some gun play. Interesting. You were captured. Look what they've done to you. The jailer is the key. Kill him and you'll be free. Fight your way into the ultra-responsive, fast-paced sword fighting and dual stick shooting game. All right, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Don Koopman did the review on our site, and he's slashing in an endless boss rush to the finish. So, and he gave it a really good score. So, yeah,
interesting. Don doing work
cool
over there on the review game.
Yep. Now, next up, we have a little game that you may have heard of called Super Meat Boy. And this is the game, you know the game.
The Nindy that started the Super
WiiWare.
Tough Games movement, I feel like. Or just one of the games that pioneered it.
Yeah, totally. Definitely. And it's weird to think, remember, like, this was supposed to be the WiiWare game.
Yep.
And then they couldn't go with the file size limit, which, isn't that so funny looking back at that
How
now?
far we've come.
Oh, man.
I've never played this game.
Oh, yeah. It's
tough
it's
from
really
what
good.
I hear, right?
I mean, yeah. It is. It's tough as nails. But, yeah, I played it on Xbox One, because it was like the games with the gold thing. And yeah, I mean the D-pad is just awful, you know. So, and I wanted to get on Wii U, but it's like, well, if it's coming to Wii U, it's going to be coming to Switch, so I didn't get it on Wii U. You know what I mean? Even though that's probably the best platform to play it on because of that perfect D-pad that's on the Wii U gamepad. Just the absolute perfect D-pad.
Yeah, I think this might be a game I wait till it gets on sale.
Yep, me too.
Because I've always been interested in it, you know, at least vaguely. You know, just obviously people have talked about it so much, it's, like you said, it's hard not to at least know what it's about. So maybe if that game drops to like a $9.99, that might be good. Retail price,
right.
$14.99. So I feel like that's still a pretty good price point.
That's a good price. Yeah, it's a good game.
That seems to feel, I feel like that's the sweet spot before it starts getting to like a, do I really want to spend that much? You know, that $14.99.
I know, man. $9.99 is the price. Yeah. Now, this next one we have is kind of a pretty highly anticipated game. The Escapist 2. Yeah, so not the first one, but the second one. Now,
who needs the first one when you got the second
one? Yeah. Yeah, David Lloyd, The Last Jedi, reviewed this game. And I think it was a kind of a bit of a letdown for him in some ways, but he gave it a good score.
I think that might have just been maybe a hype level factor, you know? Like sometimes they get so hyped up that you're expecting one thing, and then all of a sudden it's like, it's still a fine game, but it just didn't really knock my socks off like you might have been hoping for. But yeah, I don't know. This is one that never really piqued my interest that much, to be honest. I'm sure it's a fine game, but I don't know, and it's never really jumped off the page at me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this next one will, and that's Askend 2, The World Beneath. And this is from 10 Tons. For Pete's sake.
They're trying to get up there with Hamster, man.
Yeah, they are. Step aboard a fantastic adventure. It's a match 3 game. And it's while traveling from Liverpool to New York, your ship was pulled down into a massive maelstrom. I haven't said that word for a long time. You woke up in a place that may never have been gazed upon by the eyes of men. From now on, your goal is to ascend from the center of the earth, find your way back to civilization. So, that's kind of a cool premise. But it's just a match 3 game.
I was going to say, pretty deep story for a match 3 game. Yeah. Which is cool. Like, I'm all about it, you know what I mean? But that's funny. Oh man, I can't look at our next game. Our next game here is Brawl for $9.99. I'm trying to pull it up on the Nintendo store.
Can't, like, you physically.
And I guess I hit the age registration as not the right date, and I guess I'm not old enough to look. They won't let me look. Oh, sorry, you're not eligible.
That's funny. That's funny. It looks like Bomberman. It's a Bomberman-like game. Step into the darkness of the Emporium with 8 unique characters. Fight your way to the end using different playstyles, from pure brutality as a wrestler to hiding in the shadows as an elusive thief. So you can play up to 4 players multiplayer with over 20 interactive maps. So, and this is $9.99. Now, I'm pretty sure that we have a review of this on the site. Do you know?
I'm not 100% sure. I don't think so. I think
I'm just thinking of. I'm thinking of Brawl Out. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, the Super Smash Brothers style game. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Oh no, I was thinking of Super Smash Brothers Brawl. Sorry.
Whoops.
No, this is different. Yeah. But yeah, $9.99. It has like a creepy, scary tone to the game. Whatever. Next up, though, we have Gun House.
Ooh-wee.
This is $14.99. Now, this is like a pastel-colored game, but very interesting looking. And have you heard about this game?
I've heard good things. I don't really know too much. I guess it is sort of like a tower defense puzzle kind of game. Is sort of what they're touting themselves at.
Fusion of puzzle and tower defense.
I believe I remember Neil was saying really good things on Twitter that I guess it's not a super long game. I think it might have actually been a mobile game. Don't quote me on that. But I guess, yeah, it's funny. When you hear Gunhouse, you'd expect one thing, but when you see these colors, they are very much
right. Like
not
it's
that.
still violent, but it's like it's
cheerful, like you said, pastel-y colors. No, it looks really cool. What's it? $14.99. Yeah, I believe it was. You can get it on mobile as well for a little cheaper. But no, I've heard good things, but it might be a little short.
Short, yeah. But Neil gave it a really good review, so check it out at NintendoWorldReport.com.
Next up here, we've got Energy Balance for $2.99. Now, this game right here looks interesting. I really like this sort of cat robot going on. During a mission, your spaceship encounters an unknown anomaly and all systems fail. You have to balance the energy in order to get them running again and to get home safely. So, this is another puzzle game. It's not a match 3 puzzle game. I'm looking
it's
at
a math number game.
Yeah, it looks like let's see. Energy Balance is a number puzzle. You have to swap power units in such a way that their sums form correct chains both vertically and horizontally. The game is easy to learn but very hard to master. So,
yeah, kind of like Sudoku a little bit, in a different way.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
Yeah, like a little puzzle game. $2.99. Check that out.
It's pretty cheap. I was gonna say that would be a game I'd love them to offer like 5 puzzles for free. You know what I mean? Like just get a taste of it and see if it's sort of your thing. But honestly, if you're vaguely interested, $2.99 doesn't seem like that much of an investment, even if you end up not really liking it.
Right. Exactly. Okay, we have a couple games left. One of them is Nightmare Boy for $9.99, and this is I believe it's like a Metroidvania game, and it's kind of like a
platformer.
It takes place in Donarok in the state of Noctum. After the After the king of after the king of Noctum disappears, chaos rules over the world. The relationships between monsters, Mongos, and dreamers are completely unstable, and Donarok, the land so heavily affected by chaos, slowly absorbs terrain from surrounding regions. So if that gives you a good idea of how the game plays and everything, that should let you know.
Yeah, now you know.
Yeah. No, it's a very bizarre looking game. Dark, weird, cartoony characters. It's interesting. I've heard middling things on the game. So, yeah, check it out. Nightmare Boy.
Now, to wrap us up here, we're going to talk about a game that Perry actually just talked about, and that is Innerspace, clocking in at $19.99. If you liked what you heard before, then it might be a game worth checking out. Like I said, visually looks
Pilot
great.
Wings wrapped in Zelda.
Yeah, and those are 2 pretty cool things.
Yeah, totally. All right, well, that'll do it for the eShop Roundup. So I'm excited because right now is my favorite time of the week. You know that, right?
News Talk with Casey Gibson.
Alrighty, that's right, boys and girls. It is time for some news, and we've got some things to talk about. First, we're going to kick it off with some sales figures because, of course, the Switch is doing well, and we want to hear about all those good numbers. Splatoon 2 is the first console game to hit 2 million sales in Japan this decade. Now,
this decade?
Yeah, I mean, so that's...
Oh, wait, the first console game?
Yes. So...
Wait, what? They've never had a...
I think they mean, like, home console game. Like, I don't think, like, 3DS would count as a console game.
Wait... They have never, in the past 7 or 8 years, they haven't had a game sell more than 2 million?
I guess not, because if you think about it, the majority of Japan, obviously, games mobile, right? And think about how many Wii U's were probably sold total in Japan. I bet you Splatoon 1 was the closest to it, and it was probably somewhere over 1 million, but shy of 2 million. And then... I'm trying to think of what else. PS4 is the second.
Like New Super Mario Bros. Or something?
I guess not, man.
That's weird. Are you sure that's right?
That's what they were selling me.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I wonder how many, let's see if I could real quick. Wii U Japanese sales.
Well, I mean, but are you talking about just Nintendo
No,
consoles?
no. But think of
Every
it.
console.
Nintendo consoles do the best in Japan
Yeah, they usually do, right? Besides the Wii U.
because, I mean, but even the Wii U
wasn't that bad.
was probably pretty similar to PS4.
I guess consoles just aren't that big.
Yeah, because
They're just not that big in Japan.
yeah, they go for the Vitas, the 3DSs.
Definitely not the Xbox.
Yeah, the phone. Yeah, yeah, definitely not.
Did you ever on the Famicast they talk about like sales numbers and they would run down the numbers and like it was so funny because like every week or every 2 weeks they'd give numbers and it'd be like 3DS sells 36,000 and PS4 sells 25,000 or like or 50,000 or whatever and the other ones would always be in the triple digits, the Xbox ones, like
Down to the one
and
person.
Xbox
Yeah.
sold 251 consoles.
Yeah, I bought one of the consoles this week. You could see me. I was here. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm looking life-to-date number of hardware and software units shipped in millions. So you've got Japan up until the end of 2016 is what they've got the dates here. It sold 3.34 million in Japan. So, yeah, was there any game that's going to have that much of an attachment rate? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's what I was saying. Like I was saying, like New Super Mario Bros.
But
But
I guess even if
yeah,
over half
that's a crazy statistic.
bought it, yeah.
So Splatoon 2 is the most famous. I mean, most common game on the consoles this decade.
Yep, that's what it looks like.
That's crazy, man.
Dude, Splatoon 2 is huge in Japan. I mean, it's pretty big here too, but the Japanese people love them some Splatoon.
Yep. All right, let's move on to this next news bullet, which is Super Meat Boy, because it just launched, like we talked about on the roundup, and apparently the first day sales were shockingly close to the debut on 360 when it came out originally in 2010, which is nuts. I mean, I think that's going to be one of the biggest,
Because, I mean,
sales. So
Super Meat Boys come out on just about every console at this point, right? You can get it anywhere, so you'd assume that most people have played it, yet they still are banging big numbers on day one. And I think it just, again, shows you that the Switch is just a hotbed for these nindies, man. They come over, they drop it, and people are just feasting on these games. And, I think it just shows you that the interest for these games are there, and then maybe just people don't like to play on the computer necessarily as much. I know where Steam was originally the indie hotbed, and now it's sort of shifted over to the Switch, so Nintendo has to absolutely be elated with that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it is the best console, so.
Yes, sir. Now, to continue our little trend of number talk here, we've got FIFA Switch has officially outsold the PS4 version in Japan. Now, again, this sort of doubles back to the conversation we're having around with Splatoon 2. Japanese gamers don't play console games as much. PS4, like you said, it does much better than Xbox One, but it still doesn't nearly do as much as mobile, 3DS, Vita, Switch.
Still sweet though, man.
No, I mean it's got to be promising. So
FIFA Switch officially outsold the PS4 version. That's so cool in
Japan, yeah. If it was in America, then it would be then we would be talking.
I think it's impossible.
Yeah, I don't.
They wouldn't have enough copies
I don't think so either.
Or Switches.
You'd have to have every Switch owner buying it, but. Hopefully this shows EA enough that's like, hey, people want to buy these games. Don't half-ass them, please, and bring Madden. Thank you.
EA. Anyway, moving on. We have a new Scribblenauts game was announced today, but it's not the Scribblenauts game that you think was going to be announced. And you know what? I swear that they said that there was going to be no more Scribblenauts games, like that the studio shut down or something like that. But no, here we have Scribblenauts Showdown. It's like a party game.
And you know what?
But it also has single player.
It's a brilliant idea to have a party game Scribblenauts game. That's so smart.
Sounds amazing.
So smart. I was going to say, this was actually going to be one of the questions I was going to ask you earlier today, but decided to hold out. What do you think about this game? Is this, to me, when I see this game and I see it's sort of minigame / party focused, I'm like, Perry's going to eat this game up.
Yeah, I mean, I love me some party games, and I've always loved Scribblenauts. The idea of Scribblenauts, the game, not so much like. I just never got into it as much. I remember being really let down by the first one. I think a lot of people were, and that kind of. But I remember but then playing Super Scribblenauts. I played that a few months back. I got it on Craigslist, and it's a lot of fun, like running through and just better physics and stuff. So, I've always loved the character and just the idea is cool and everything. It's amazing, but I don't really know anything about Scribblenauts Showdown. I don't know how it's gonna work, but I'm definitely up for excited to hear about it and figure out what's going on here because it looks fun. Just from the screen, just from the the art and everything.
Yeah.
And it's available to preload right now in Europe and North America.
That's because it comes out March 6th, so not too much longer of a wait. Yeah, I remember when I got my Wii U, I remember going to GameStop and I was like, I need to get some games because I think I just got, obviously Nintendo Land came with it, and I think I got, I'm not even sure because I think they must have been
Zombie U.
Well, that's the thing. I went to I think I might have just gotten the console for Christmas, and then I went to GameStop because I remember I bought Zombie U. I bought obviously New Super Mario Bros. And then I was debating whether I wanted to get Scribblenauts or not. And
I just remember it being $60.
Yeah, I think that was the deterrent. It was well, you know what? I've got these games. I'm gonna hold off on Scribblenauts. And I mean, now you could probably get it for $3, but I've never played a Scribblenauts game actually.
Oh, okay, so,
yeah. But anyway,
well,
moving on from that,
this will be the first one.
Oh, the first one not too good.
No, I'm saying maybe this will be the first one that you'll play when you come over.
Oh, it's gonna
or at PAX.
Well, I was gonna say probably not, but if you do buy it, I will play it.
There you go.
Now, next up here, we've got just the tally keeps getting higher. And who knows, it might get higher later, but it might not. Breath of the Wild, up to 163 Game of the Year awards from various media outlets and coverage sites and such. That's a whole lot of nods.
Yep. Well-deserved. I think that's amazing, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I love that game.
It makes sense.
Yep.
Now, this last bit of news is sort of a couple different pieces, but sort of all wrapped up into one here. Although, actually, I guess we've got two little bits. First one being Detective Pikachu is coming to the States. That's right. Deep Voice Pikachu is on his way to America. It's amazing.
Alas, it's not Danny DeVito, which really sucks. But
it's still amazing, dude.
This game looks incredible. Seriously, I'm seriously considering getting it because it looks so fun.
Seriously considering?
Yeah.
This is a lock and sold for me.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, dude. I need to play this game. It looks ridiculous.
It does. It's so weird. And,
it looks so good.
Yeah. And to match the weirdness, there's a gigantic Pikachu amiibo releasing with
$30. It's a $30 amiibo. It's huge.
Insane. And I have to get that too.
I don't know. I just don't know why it had to be huge.
I don't get it.
I mean, I don't hate it. Maybe it just seems so strange.
It's an excuse to make it $30.
Probably. It probably is. Yeah,
I don't know.
And it's a good pose too. He's got his little detective hat on and he looks like he's screaming something.
I do want it up on my shelf.
Are you going to get it?
I want to. That's how ridiculous it is. I haven't bought an amiibo for a long time too.
I don't think there's a release date on the amiibo, but I'm assuming it's probably going to be the day the game launches, and the game launches on March 23rd. So that's not too far off either.
No.
And of course, to sort of piggyback the Detective Pikachu news, there was the news that Pikachu 2DS XL will be releasing in America as well, and that is going to be releasing in just a week and a half on January 26th. Pretty cool looking 3DS, or 2DS, I should say.
It is, yeah. I think it's cool looking. But it's 2DS. why would you ever get a 2DS XL?
I want a 2DS, man.
I mean, I want one just for collection, but I think it's ugly, and I think that.
Oh man,
And
I'm looking at the pictures of the Pikachu one. Oh,
it's pretty good, yeah.
the buttons and the D-pad are like Pikachu brown, you know.
Yeah. All right, but the last news we have here is there's 3 new Nintendo 3DS Nintendo Selects games coming out. Super Mario 3D Land, Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, and Ultimate NES Remix. $19.99 each. Those are all fantastic games. Well, actually, I shouldn't. I have Ultimate NES Remix, but I haven't played it yet because I got that after the Switch came out.
Did you play any of the other remix games?
Yes, I love them on Wii U.
Isn't
Absolutely
the Ultimate
love
literally
them.
just 1 and 2 put together in a package?
1 and 2. Well, not really, because a bunch of. I think there's like 8 less games, but I think they take all the good game, like all the best games. But
Gotcha.
here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, is that I really like. I like the bad game. They take the bad games from the NES, not bad ones, but
The quote unquote, yeah.
But they put little challenges that are really fun. So it's like I like those too, So it's like it's not like I hate those, but man, I was going for like the rainbow 3 stars on like all of them.
That always happens to me. Yeah, it's tough when you get that rainbow around it to have one that's not rainbowed.
Oh
and it's
yeah,
like, ugh.
Yeah, and it's just yeah.
But 3D Land for $20, man.
Oh, sign me up.
And Link Between Worlds too. It's like
all of those.
Honestly, with the Selects line, I'm pretty sure like all of the best games are for $20. Like
Animal Crossing.
It's
New
unbelievable.
Leaf, Kirby Triple Deluxe, Mario and Luigi Dream Team, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. I mean, it's like, yeah.
They really have like all of the really good games.
Yeah. So,
man, it'd be a good time, like
Ocarina of Time,
to get in. Like if you didn't play Dream Team, did you say that one?
Yes.
Tomodachi Life, Lego City Undercover, Nintendogs and Cats, Donkey Kong Country, Mario Island, Mario Party
Donkey
Island
Kong
Tour.
Country 3D is amazing too.
Yep. Oh man, and Frozen.
Yeah, Olaf's Quest, right?
Yeah, how the heck did that get on there?
Because that game sold a bajillion copies. That's what's so weird.
I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, some really great games. $20.
Now, speaking of really great games, it's time to take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to talk about our games of the year.
Ooh-wee, I can't wait.
Me neither.
It is time, Perry. Are you as excited as I am to get into our game of the year?
Woo! Woo, 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 wee. Yes, I am. I am as excited as you are.
Now, we each picked out 10 games here, 10-1, our top 10 of 2017. We're going to go through them, alternating, of course, 10, and work our way up to number 1. Now, before we start, and we also, after we go through our lists, we have a few games that we wish we got to play in 2017 that, would have had potential to crack onto the list. But, obviously, if we didn't play them, we can't put them on the list. So we're going to talk a little bit about that afterwards, as well as some listener top 10s as well. But we want to give ours up front first.
Right. And I feel like there's always the, like, what makes the top 10, It's like, now, because I really do feel like there's a difference to like, what is the best game? Like, what do you think is the best game? Or what was your favorite game that you played? Like, there's a difference. Like, it's hard to explain, but it's just kind of a thing of like, maybe as a whole, what game do you think deserves the most respect for what it is? Versus what game did you play personally that you had the most fun with? So, I mean, I don't know how, did you did you go with the latter, like with what your most fun you had with?
Yeah, so pretty much what I did, my process was I looked at every game I played on the Switch this year, and I put it into a document, and then I added a couple of the 3DS games I had played over the course of the year as well, and I just broke them into games I really loved, games I liked, and then games I didn't like, and then just sort of broke it down to there. So yeah, it's not necessarily from a critical standpoint, but more from a personal enjoyment level of each of these games, and just sort of encapsulated my 2017, I think, pretty well on the different games, that I've played through.
The year of Nintendo.
Yep, the best year of gaming of all time.
I think that's safe to say, definitely. Okay, so we're gonna first go through. You want to go through your list of games that you wish you played, or we're gonna do that after?
No, we're gonna do that after. I do have a couple games here that would not qualify for the top 10, but I think are fantastic games that I just sort of wanted to touch on a little bit beforehand. The first one is Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse. That game came out last year, 2017. I didn't get to play it till this year, or vice versa. It came out in 2016, didn't get to play it till 2017.
But you absolutely loved it.
Yeah, like if it had come out last year, it would crack into my top 5 easy.
Oh wow,
love that game. Also, another game part of the I Demand You, Chrono Trigger. Finally, I'd played it a little bit here and there beforehand on a number of occasions. Finally got through it. Unbelievable game. I could finally understand where all the love and just people admire that game. So now I can fully appreciate that. And then just 2 Nintendo games, Resident Evil 7 and Persona 5, both really great games that would probably crack into my top 10 as well. But that's that. I just wanted to get those out of the way.
Nice. Very good. All right, so let's start with number 10.
How about you take it, since I was just blabbering for a minute there?
Fine. All right, number 10. And we're going to go through these pretty quickly since we're going to have to talk about 20
Nope, minimum
games.
with 20 minutes per game.
All right. First one is, surprisingly enough, Steam World Heist.
Woo-wee!
Yes. Yeah. I know, and this is with I know it's not originally on the Switch, so it's kind of like a port. So do I include it? Do I not? But really, I'm including it because it's the first time that I really finished it to completion. That it really connected with me, and I really, really, really enjoyed my time with this game. And it's just hard. Yeah, it's perfect on Switch. It's gorgeous. You've heard me talking about it the last month anyway. But yeah, and it snuck in, didn't it? At like December 27th or something.
Yeah, it came. Yeah, literally just eligible for Game of the Year 2017.
Yeah, but I really think it deserves it, and it's a phenomenal masterpiece of a game. So yeah, SteamWorld Heist.
Awesome. Now, for me, number 10 was tough because there were a whole slew of games that I was trying to debate between.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll actually just say it came down to 2 games vying for that number 10 spot for me. And the first one, which is not number 10, so this is eliminated, was Cave Story Plus. First time playing that game, wonderful. But number 10 goes to Slime Song. Yeah, no, Slime Song. It's funny because we saw this at PAX, and I had fun with it at PAX. I was like, oh, this is a really cool little game. And then when we got word it was coming to the Switch, we were both really excited. Yeah, Perry put in the good word, got it on the Switch, and just a really, really tough but fun platforming game. A really cool mechanic with like being able to slime through walls. Certain walls, and with the slow down mechanic and the, speeding up. Just really, really cool game. I love it a lot. We got DLC coming.
Oh my goodness, have you seen this DLC? It looks freaking sweet.
I tell you what, the the things they could do with that art style, and it's just unbelievable with just the, the 5 colors, I believe is what they use.
Yeah.
To just be able to make all these really in-depth environments and like the little cities and stuff. Just like top notch, like unbelievable. But very great game. Like I said, tough, but really fun.
Yep. I can't comment on that because I am a partial designer on that game, so,
Yeah.
Politics. No, but yeah, okay. Very good. Number 10. That was your number 10.
Yes, sir.
All right, number 9. Speaking of great games, that's my segue for every single one of these, by the way. Chicken Wiggle. This is my only 3DS game on the list.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about the 3DS. Sorry. But Chicken Wiggle, absolutely love this game. It really connected with me. I love creating levels just like, and like, tell me this. Why does Chicken Wiggle have a better distribution system than Super Mario Maker? Why is that?
Because Nintendo didn't care.
Yeah, and Jules did. And he did an amazing job. And there's this big thing coming. If you haven't checked it out, he might be bringing it to Switch via Kickstarter with the new HD visuals. But you can toggle back between with all of the 3DS content being transferable, and you can play all the levels you make on 3DS on the Switch and vice versa. So cool. But yeah, definitely Chicken Wiggle, definitely a game that you don't want to miss out on. Seriously, on 3DS, it's gorgeous. But also check into it on the Switch. But yeah, Chicken Wiggle, I love it. Do the Chicken Wiggle.
All right, my number 9. You ready for this one? That's right, ARMS, baby. Now, this game, I know a lot of people were skeptical when they first saw it debuted at the Nintendo Switch presentation back in January. I remember
thinking
I was sold.
I just remember thinking this looks like a mini game when I saw it. But you say you were sold.
Yep, I mean, I knew from that point. I was like, I'm getting this game. It looks cool. The motion.
I knew I was getting it.
Yeah. But I gotta say I'm pleasantly happy with everything that went on there. The online is handled really well, I think, with the sort of like
perfect.
People can jump in and out of your your little lobby party there, and there's generally speaking not too much downtime between matches. The match modes, with the hoops and different things. Maybe not volleyball as much, but like the hoops and then the headlock mode and all that stuff are really fun. And it's just got so much character, with each. I hope they eventually start doing more of a background. Maybe ARMS 2 will give more of a background of each character, because I think they're really fascinating. And I would love to see maybe a more well thought out or more developed lore, if you will, in the ARMS universe.
We're getting that Dark Horse Karmic.
Yeah.
So I'm actually kind of psyched for that because that looks sweet.
But
I love ARMS.
Yeah, really great game. Super fun. Like I said, we talked a little bit earlier. It's challenging. And yeah, man, it's just a different take on a fighting game. With like super extendo arms.
It's the Nintendo take.
Yeah, it sounds like it would be silly, but I loved it, man.
I cannot believe they made it through that game, the first one, without putting Ultra Hand in there. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's.
I feel like in ARMS 2, they have to have like maybe how like WarioWare has like the 9-volt character that's kind of obsessed with Nintendo. I think that they should have that in the next one, and he uses Ultra Hands. It
just brings
makes
the
so
Biff.
much sense.
Biff, he could be that guy.
Yes, Biff can be that guy.
He
Perfect.
totally could, man.
Yeah. Okay, well that's your number 9, right?
Yes, sir.
Number 9. Number 8. Number 8. Okay, here's my number 8. Are you ready for it?
I don't know. Okay, I'm ready now.
All right. Goner.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah, Goner. The roguelike, my first roguelike, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Heck of a first.
Yeah, you've heard us pimp this game out on our show all year, ever since it came out. It's an amazing platformer, amazing production, art design, sound design. Everything is top notch in this game. Super hard. Still haven't even beat it. Have you beat it?
No one beats Goner.
No, yeah, I've gotten really close. It gets really freaking hard at the end. But yeah, remember you and Justin Nation making me feel like an idiot for having such a low score on the show, and then I remember like literally hours after, like before I went to bed, I was like with tears in my eyes, I'm gonna make sure I get this. I'm gonna show him, and I did.
Jimmy did. Yeah, like I said,
did.
once you sort of get that, the formula for, I want to say sustained success, because you could obviously have really good runs doing it other ways, but once you sort of get that formula down, then all of a sudden those really good runs become sort of normal, and then those fantastic runs, start to be the ones that happen on occasion, and that's what you're always going. You're chasing that high, man. You're chasing that high score, baby.
Yeah. Okay, that's my number 8.
Number 8 for me. Now, this is a game we've talked plenty about, and that is Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Yeah, so this game obviously was rumored so much beforehand, a Mario and Rabbids crossover. What could it be? It sounds stupid. Why would they do that? And then all of a sudden they come out and they show it off.
And we broke out the news story.
Yeah, and it's, wow. That looks awesome. And you know what? It was awesome. Really fun, tactical RPG kind of game. You could change up your skills, your different weapons. Obviously, a lot of strategical thinking goes into it. And the game gets really tough, so it is not something you could just sort of jump into and expect to, I'll just sort of blow through this pretty easy. There are definitely points in the game where you're going to need to redo stages like we talked the other day, how they sort of string a few battles in a row together. So therefore, it becomes even more important not to make a mistake, because then you're putting yourself behind the 8 ball for future battles, and then it only compounds how difficult it is. But just a truly wonderful game.
Yeah, I love this game.
It's got funny bits throughout. It's got really great gameplay, and like you said, it doesn't quite look like a Mario game, but it looks like the best damn Rabbids game I've ever seen.
Yep, that's absolutely sure. Yeah, cool. That was your number 8?
That was number 8. We're on to number 7.
All right. Number 7. Rocket League.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah. I think this comes as no surprise that this would be in my top 10, because it's like the game that we've played only online since it came out. When did it come out?
That one came out in November, which is probably about
right after
2 months from now.
Stab.
From this point.
Yeah. Wonderful game. We've talked about it a lot, but yeah, Rocket League. It's just extremely fun, really simple, but really fun to play co-op. Very satisfying when you do what you want. Hard to execute, but that's what makes it so fun. And just honestly, the online, how it works is very good, very smart. Being able to play with Jill obviously was a huge part of this. Being able to just hang out with friends and talk and play all the time. It's a fantastic game, and I can't believe it's $20. That's insane.
Yeah, that price point is crazy good.
Yeah, it's a great game. But that was my number 7. What's your number 7?
My number 7 now, you might have heard of this game, because we just talked about it, and that is Rocket League.
Really?
Yep, I've got Rocket League slated at number 7 as well. And
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And like Perry said,
You're a
it's
copycat.
Yeah, you dirty cheat. Yeah, Rocket League, man. It's one of those games I literally played maybe an hour total when it came out on PlayStation, I don't even know at this point. Must have been 2014 at some point, I'd imagine. Maybe 2015.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
But yeah, I really didn't put a lot of time into it.
Yeah.
So then when we got it coming out here, it just became our go-to online playing. Like you said, it's easy to have Jill or whoever jump in with us. It's easy to get into a match real quick. And you know what? You want to leave mid-match? No problem. Just leave, you don't get penalized. And
Right.
it's just really accessible. Like you said, it's accessible at first, and then it becomes very difficult to sort of take that leap from being like, oh, I know the controls, to being like, oh, I know how to play Rocket League well. And I think it's just super rewarding when you do nail those shots, so it just makes you keep coming back for more.
Such a good game. All right, it's time for number 6. We're getting pretty hot and heavy, Case.
Working our way through.
Yep. Number 6 for me is Super Mario Odyssey.
Ooh, pretty low on the list.
Pretty
or high
low?
on the list, I guess. I don't know how
Yeah, I don't
which
know.
way you want to look at it.
Yeah, isn't that funny to think that? But really, it's not, because it's very high on the list, because my list is 30 long of amazing games that I love.
Yeah, it's like fractions of a point between
No,
when you start
that's
to get
the
that
thing.
high.
I mean, seriously, like all these games I love so much that since we have to make this silly ranked list, but yeah, Super Mario Odyssey. You know what? And I think a big part of why I want to go back and play this freaking game. Like I do. I've just been doing so many other games, It's just it's so busy. So it's like if this was like it's one of those things like if I didn't have a billion other games, I would definitely play this a lot more. But I think I only put like around 20 hours on it, maybe. And I just beat the campaign and played around with the world after, and that's it. And I absolutely love this game. I really do, and it's a kind of a dream come true for Mario. But I can't help but I think I still like the 3D land and world games better. I like the crafted level designs. I like the simplicity of that. I'm not trying to say this to like rag on Super Mario Odyssey or anything. I just mean, I feel like it's
No, I understand.
It's on point to talk about that. Honestly, Odyssey is like a 10 out of 10 for me. I love the game to bits. So, yeah, that's my number 6.
My number 6 is my only 3DS game. Can you guess which one?
Oh, yes. Ever Oasis.
Ding, 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 ding. Yes, sir.
Nice.
Ever Oasis from our, I was going to say our friends, but we're not friends with Grezzo as much as I'd like to be. No, from
we should do that.
The fine folks over at Grezzo finally got an opportunity to branch out and not make a 3D Zelda remake, but instead they took this sort of action RPG, like Secret of Mana game, and it was just an absolute delight. It's fun mechanics, and the whole idea is to build up this oasis by just sort of fostering positive feelings and sort of getting rid of the chaos. And it was just a feel-good game that, unfortunately came out at a really bad time I think most games coming out...
Totally, man. Totally.
Yeah, most games coming out on the 3DS post Switch, didn't fare too well, especially when it was sort of like right in the middle of like, okay, now the Switch is out and it's gaining momentum, and that, I feel like it was really like Switch mania at that point, and I know it still is to a certain extent, but I feel like with games like Samus Returns, which is obviously a Metroid game, so it's going to get more hype up than an Ever Oasis, but I just think really bad timing for it to come out. I know it pretty much, from what I gather, bombed in the sales charts, but really fantastic game that I really enjoyed a lot.
Yeah, pretty crazy that they decided to do a new IP at the end of the 3D, like,
just real bad timing.
I think it's just poor planning. You know what I mean? I mean, not necessarily poor planning. I just mean, bad timing.
You know what? But that
should be on Switch.
Well, I was gonna say, but that is poor planning, unless if there was some sort of unforeseen delay that maybe they were trying to get it out in November or October of the year prior.
Because they showed it. Yeah, I mean, it came out basically almost a whole year after it was announced. So, yeah, it took a long time for it to come out. Yeah. All right, Ever Oasis. Okay, so now we're down to the top 5.
The top 5. This is when the going gets going.
Okay, so this next one might blow your mind, but it might not. But it might. Probably not, but it could.
I'm all ears.
Number 5. That would be Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Woo! All right.
I tell you what, this, I would have never dreamt of this, especially when this game came out. I remember like regretting my purchase when this game came out. Seriously,
man,
I was like,
what a turn.
Why did I get this? But I'm telling you, I mean, I think one of the big things was that stupid thing, the auto-correcting steering that's on.
Oh, that's so stupid. That's
so
automatically
awful.
set.
Yeah, that's part of it. But I tell you what, man, I had so much fun, and a big part of it is because it was on Switch. Having this crazy, amazing, beautiful game on the go is so fun. It looked so good on the Switch screen. Playing through the new levels, so much content in this game. Battle mode's fun. Online is flawless. It's an absolutely incredible game. And it's just crazy because I really think it's like an enhanced version of the Wii U game. All the little changes, and I just completely fell in love with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And it's just such a big surprise. That's probably why, is because it's kind of my expectations, right? It's like my expectations were so low, but then like it was such an uphill to get to the top of where I was. So now, the difference seems so big to what I was thinking. It just was I was so surprised with how much I loved it. So it really stuck with me. But yeah, I absolutely love that game.
It is a great game.
Yeah. All right, what's your number 5, bucko?
My number 5. You might know it, you might not. Are you ready for it?
Oh, baby.
Trying to pull a Perry here and give you some suspense. My number 5 game is Resident Evil Revelations 2.
Whoa!
Yeah, dude.
Really?
Yeah, man. This game knocked my socks off. I tell you what.
Oh, yeah. See, that's the thing is... See, I didn't even think about that because I totally was getting Revelations. Like, I really love that game, but I was torn between the new port thing. I don't know. But yeah, dude, but 2 is legitimately, like, new to Nintendo systems.
Yep, it is the first time. And it's funny because I liked Revelations 1. I enjoyed my time with it. I didn't replay it when it came to the Switch, but, I did play it on the 3DS, and it was a game I liked. But, you know what, it wasn't so crazy that, like, when Revelations 2 came out, I wasn't, like, foaming at the bit to go get it, and Resident Evil is a franchise I will go and buy it on PlayStation, you know what I mean, if that's the only way I could play it, as seen with Resident Evil 7, so, it was a game that just didn't really jump out at me, so when I did actually play it, and it it's amazing. I think it blows Revelations 1 out of the water. I think.
But
yeah,
pun intended.
It was a return to form, even though like it wasn't a complete, survival horror in the vein of, let's say, Resident Evil, the very first one, but it was, going back in the right direction, spooky and eerie environments and a good story, and it wasn't perfect because I don't personally love the whole partners being involved, like two people playing together all the time, but it's just the game was so good that I could overlook that design element that I don't personally love and still found it to be an absolutely wonderful game, and I cannot wait for any more Resident Evil to come to the Switch. Please, any and all Resident Evil,
Please.
come on over.
Yes, I second that. I gotta tell you, I think the deciding factor to me really not going forth with the purchase of the physical of playing Resident Evil 2 was because of that ugly box art.
It's ugly.
It's so bad on those games. Oh my goodness! Have you gone to the store and you see all the games with those on them? Oh, it looks so bad.
Yeah,
like
but Nintendo doesn't want to have any ifs, ands, or buts about it where someone brings that home and they don't have enough space,
I know, but they could make it. It doesn't have to be a huge white banner up on the top. I mean, it's so bad.
But it's so ugly
I don't want
that
to own anything like that. I don't want to own anything like that.
I say it's so ugly it catches your eye, and then you can't say, "Hey, we didn't warn you."
I know.
I know, but you know what? Don't let that deter you from how amazing the game is.
I know.
Because really, if you liked I know you really enjoyed Revelations 1, dude.
You really
I'm telling you, man, Revelations 2 is so much better.
I don't know. You don't have to convince me. Like, I know it is. Like, I don't think it's not gonna be. I know it's gonna be really fun. It's just that I was reviewing Revelations, So
I know.
It was just one of those things where
you don't want to Resident Evil yourself out.
yeah. So I will definitely be playing that. Like, that's definitely on my radar. And the nice thing about that is, like, it'll probably, like, knowing Capcom, it's gonna go on sale. Like, totally. Like,
I mean, it's only $20, right?
I know. That's what I'm saying. But it's like that'll be a perfect, reason to get it when it does come out.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, all right. My number 4. Are you ready for this?
Yes, sir.
That's right. ARMS, baby. I absolutely fell in love with this game. Jill fell in love with the game. We love playing it. I love everything about it. It's everything I love about Nintendo. They did it with the fighting genre. I mean, of course, Super Smash Bros. is that fighting game, but whereas
this is more traditional.
Yeah, exactly. And all the characters. I love all the characters. I love the idea. I love the moveset. It's super wacky. I love the lore. It's just exactly what you said before. It's an amazing new IP. I'm excited to where it can go. And it's just so fun that it's on the Switch. And it brought me my neon yellow Joy-Cons.
The best cons. And
the best cons.
What I didn't mention before too, which I think is worth noting, is just how they supported it throughout the year with adding free update patches with new characters and stuff. I know they've already said, that I believe 5.0, right? Or 4.0, whatever the last big patch was, is going to be the last one.
Version 5.
So, yeah, I wonder, I think, I know for a fact ARMS sold really well. What was it, over 1 or 2 million copies for a brand new IP, and I could see them pursuing a ARMS 2, whether that's, this lifestyle, Jesus. What's the word I'm looking for? Console's life cycle is the word I'm looking for.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe in the future, but I don't think ARMS has seen its last game.
No, for sure. Yep, so that's my number 4. So what's your number 4?
My number 4 is a game you talked about a little bit earlier, and that is Goner.
Oh.
Yeah, it's peeking in awfully high on my list. and with good reason, in my opinion, because
Yes,
it is just
absolutely.
it is easily the first like indie game to really, really, really grab me like that. I'd played a lot of really great games, like Tumbleseed was a lot of fun, Binding of Isaac, these roguelike games that are a lot of fun, but just something about Goner, it absolutely just sunk its teeth into me. It might have been because I was on vacation too, so it was like I had ample time to really, really play this game a lot, and just, like you said, the visuals and the sound design together are just like, it blows my mind, really. And then when you're playing the game, how it all comes together with like on the edge of your seat, I gotta keep this combo going, and the music is getting intense, and the visuals are bugging out. I couldn't recommend Goner enough. Like you said, I know people are probably getting sick of hearing about it, but my God, it's just, what a game. What a game.
You gotta think, if it's number 4 on your list of 2017, that's insane.
Yeah, man.
So, yeah, totally. Okay.
Top 3.
Okay, now I gotta say, for all intents and purposes, these top 3 are like basically tied for number 1. But I just for our sake, I didn't want to cheap out like that. So I did rank them, but they're basically tied for first. But okay.
I'm trying to think. I already know what 2 of them are. I'm trying to think what the third one might be.
Oh, you have to know what these are. Now, number 3, we have Kingdom New Lands.
That's it. Yep.
Yes. I really debated for this being number 1. And I actually put it there.
That would have been something.
No, yeah, and I'm serious, and that's what I'm saying. It's like I could still, like, on certain, when I think about it, I think it should be number 1, but sometimes not. I don't know if it's like that with the other games, but it's, to me, this game, it's truly magical. I think that Holden, the email earlier, really talked about how it grabbed him too, and so I love this game, and really, it was really fun experiencing it with. It's so weird because it's this roguelike game. I mean, it's a tower defense game, kind of. It's weird to call it that, but technically it kind of is. But it also has, like, it's a roguelike too, and it's a side-scrolling, and it's gorgeous, and it's so ambient, and the music and the visuals, and it's so dynamic. To whereas you can feel like you're on top of the world, and then minutes later, this attack comes.
It's all over.
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily all over, and it's really fun actually. On some I recorded the first 4 islands, and you can actually see, how I've almost just been demolished. Me and Jill, like, just down to nothing, and he came back and won. But it's unbelievable how great and how amazing that game is. And there's a new island for it, and I know there's a sequel coming out, and I could not be more excited. I love this game. And like I said, I think I've said this before, it's scary to think that I just picked up this game for review, like just to pick up a review, and to think that I could have missed this game is really scary, because I don't remember really anyone else really talking about it too much.
It just happened to be a good pickup for your review.
Oh, and it's just like, it changed my life. Like, it is awesome. Love the game. So, yep, Kingdom New Lands.
Heck yeah, man. Now, my top 3, you could probably imagine which 3 they're going to be, but clocking in at number 3 is Mario Odyssey. Now, this is a game, of course, you talked about before, and we've talked about in the podcast, and probably everyone listening to this podcast has probably played it, if not, for sure, at least seen plenty of videos of such things.
Yep.
Wonderful game. I really am glad they went back to a more, the more classic 3D, but like you said, it's still a fresh spin on it. It's not quite like the N64 Sunshine. Like I said, I do love being able to just literally explore these open world areas, you know what I mean, where they just have tons of stuff going on. I did not absolutely love that there were just moons literally littered everywhere. I think it wasn't something I absolutely hated.
They needed a step above it. They needed another tier, I think.
Yeah, it's like I would have loved for it to be more like, instead of like a million, what was it, like over 500, 900 moons, whatever the heck there are, 700, I don't even know. But I would have much preferred maybe more like, hey, there's 200, and, you know, like, the random moons that are found in, like, a sand pile, you know, we can get rid of those, you know? Maybe one of those in, like, the entire game as, like, a sort of a funny little, oh, hey, gotcha. But, no, but regardless, though, I really enjoyed it. I absolutely adored collecting the purple coins for each region and buying new costumes, which is normally not something I totally get into.
Man.
Yeah,
so cool.
Usually I'm more of like, I'll just stick to what, you know, the classic Mario look, but so much fun to mix and match. Even getting the stickers for the Odyssey, the bumper stickers,
hat,
you know,
baby.
yeah, the Diddy Kong one was
It's so
little
good.
monkey Mario. But,
Yes.
no, really, obviously a great game, and I got to go to the launch party, which was cool, and I got to meet Reggie, so it's also got all of that sort of intertwined with it, too, which was pretty wild.
Big Reg. Yep.
Old Reginald.
Yep, I love Super Mario Odyssey.
All right, number 2.
All right.
I think I know which one this is going to be for you.
Okay, guess.
I think you're going to go with Splatoon 2.
Well, you're wrong, buddy, because it's Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Ooh, you're a crazy man. He's crazy.
Yes, number 2, Zelda Breath of the Wild. I believe this doesn't need any sort of explanation. This is one of the most amazing games to ever come out.
I want to hear exactly why it's number 2.
Because it's...
Because it stinks on us. I love that saying, dude, because it's such an old saying.
And I love it too.
And then when you just really stop
so
to think
good.
about it, it's like, man, that thing must really stink if it stinks
Dude,
on ice.
it's so funny. I just said that to Jill the other day in the car, and then I went through the same thought process that you just went through. I'm like, man, you know what? If something is stinking on ice, it must really
Yeah,
stink.
it's the worst.
Yeah.
But that is not Zelda.
Yeah. And like I said, my top 3 games are really just tied for first. But Zelda, it's in a... there's no... You know, I love everything about it. I love how open it is. I love the wilderness, the wild idea. The crafting is well implemented where it's not too crazy, you know, not too weird, and it's, you know, you can get recipes, stuff like that. You know, of course you miss the dungeons, the standard Zelda dungeons, but it's one of those things where, you know, it's not like old Zelda games don't exist anymore, you know, and it's not like it leaves room for improvement. I mean, it does leave room for improvement. But I really love the weapons. So weird, right? The game's so weird because it's so much different. I mean, we've never seen... I can't remember, like, another time Nintendo's taken a franchise and made it so different, you know? And I think the delays and everything obviously paid off from when this was supposed to release in 2015.
Oh, yeah, it's weird to think about that. Like, that, it was really
Yeah.
a long time from when it was initially shown off till release.
It was shown off in 2014, man, at E3.
Wow.
2014.
Granted, what was that, like the
first-
6-second video?
But the video the video with him,
Fighting the Guardian?
you know, yeah. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that was 14. It's 2018 now. But anyway, yeah, Zelda's amazing.
It sure is. But you know
So what's
what
your
is
number 2?
also amazing, clocking in at number 2, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. this game for me is a sequel to one of my favorite games of all time. That is Xenoblade Chronicles, the very first one that came out on the Wii, and eventually on the 3DS as well. Now, I've talked about this before. Xenoblade Chronicles X came out. I enjoyed it, but not the game I wanted.
Disappointment.
Yeah, like I said, I tend to prefer the Japanese RPG opposed to the Western one. I like a more sort of concentrated story and sort of getting to point A to point B and being able to sort of go a little left and right of that point. But obviously Xenoblade Chronicles X was more like, well, this is an open world, and sure, there is a main story, but it sort of takes a back seat to the world itself, So this was a return to form for me. I have not beaten this game yet. I am still working my way through, but it's done enough to be up on near the top of the list. I don't think it will, even after beating it, I don't know if it'll have enough to overtake my number one game, which I'll talk about in a minute. But still, just a really fantastic game, super deep. Lots of different systems and stuff if you want to dive deep into that kind of stuff, but also accessible enough where you don't really need to necessarily, really get into all that if you don't want to. Really enjoying the story, beautiful world, super fun battle system. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, great game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is one of the games that I wish I could have played, and we'll be talking about that. But yeah, that's your number 2?
Yes, sir. Now we are up.
I wonder what your number 1 is.
Yep, we are up to Room in the Night Sky. We're up to number 1, I guess, not even Perry's Game of the Year. What is it, Perry?
Sonic Mania. No, my real game is Sonic Forces.
Oh, no. Now we know you're pulling our legs.
Yeah. No, my game of the year is Splatoon
2. Now, before you talk about Splatoon 2 at all, can we double back to when you said you hated it and it was the worst?
I do hate it, and it is the worst. It is so stupid to this day. But that just goes to show how amazing the gameplay is. Splatoon 2 has one of the most amazing multiplayer gameplay, setups ever. The spraying ink and the swimming in it and going up the, ramps and doing all that stuff and shooting people and everything. It's amazing. And it's funny because it wouldn't have been this high on the list, to be honest. This high meaning number 1. What pushed it in there was the Clan Blitz mode that came out. Yeah, because it was really, it was just Salmon Run was the new thing, and Salmon Run's freaking sweet. But, nothing new in the other modes. And they came out with Clan Blitz, and it's just incredible, and I love it. And so that's one of the things. The other things is, there's a lot of differences and stuff. A lot of stuff that I miss from the first Splatoon. A lot of the stages I miss. Also the Seekers. Oh, man, I miss those so much.
Those were your jam.
That was my jam, man. That's what I used. But yeah, it's definitely my most played game. I still get tons and tons of enjoyment out of it. I love the game to death. I do think that there is an extremely stupid and flawed system with their online setup that is just ridiculous. Their whole thing of you have to be a certain level to play, a certain rank to play is insane. To be able to play with your friends online, you have to hit a certain rank.
Yeah, I don't.
So bad.
I just don't get why they would ever think that'd be okay to do.
And I know it was easy for you. I get it. But it was not easy for me necessarily. And I still have friends that haven't gotten there. Granted, they don't play all the time. But it's the point where it's like, hey, do you want to play? Yeah. And we get on. Oh, I can't play with you because I haven't freaking unlocked the mode yet. How stupid is that? That is so stupid.
I know.
And then,
I know.
the mode that you can play isn't available all the time. Salmon Run. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, the trademark brand new mode. They're like,
It's
only
insane.
sometimes.
I can't believe it, and I still hate them for that. I think it's one of the stupidest decisions they've ever made. But we're here. It's my number one game of 2017.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what game of the year has us complained about it?
You know that when the game came out, I still loved the game. It's just that I was.
It's the stupid like the gameplay itself is fantastic, but it's like the decisions with that stuff are stupid. Like why,
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't make sense. Like you did such a good job with the rest of the game. Why is it like? Why is this so poorly designed?
Yeah. Yep. But anyway, yeah. Splatoon 2. Now, I wonder what your game of the year is.
Yep. Well, it might sound familiar because we just talked about it, and it is obviously Zelda Breath of the Wild is my game of the year. Now, of course, this was such an early game, right? We played it in March when it came out with the Switch. So to me, it was like, obviously, that game sort of real quick just jumped out to being, all right, this is probably game of the year, right? I feel like many of us probably thought that. So all year was sort of like, oh, does this game have enough to overtake Breath of the Wild? Nah, okay, no. And going through the year, I was trying to find that game, right? Many of us thought maybe Mario Odyssey. Some of us, like I thought Xenoblade Chronicles 2 might do it, but they come close, but just Zelda takes the cake. And like you said, it's not perfect. There are, like you said, with the dungeons are a little different than, I might personally like. While the music, I think, is really great, a lot of the sound design, I feel like, is minimalist, and I think appropriately so, but I do miss those big scores of, the dungeon music and this, that, and the other thing. But as far as gameplay goes, just so much fun. I don't think I would consider this my favorite Zelda of all time, but I would say it is the most fun I've ever had in a Zelda game, easily. And now I never... And this sort of goes back to my not really loving Western RPGs, big open world, sort of create your character, go out, do side quests, do this, that, and the other thing. So for me, Zelda Breath of the Wild, initially I was like, all right, it's a Zelda game, I'm going to enjoy it, But I hope it isn't too open worldy where it's sort of, you know what I mean? Like, doesn't really reside with me that well. But it did, there were so many times when I'm going to actually go do that Divine Beast right now. And then on my way over there, let me grab that shrine. Oh, wait, there's a shrine over there. Oh, wait, what's this? Let me help this person. And then, 3 hours pass and I'm way further away from that Divine Beast than I started out. And it's just weird to be nostalgic about a game that came out less than a year ago. But I totally get nostalgic. I think back to launch day when we were on Skype playing for literally 7 hours that night, just talking and playing, and just wow, it changed the entire formula and it nailed it, and it just a wonderful game.
Totally, yep. And I'm sure people are sick and tired of hearing about it, but it's an amazing feat for Nintendo, And
it deserves the praise.
It really sucks that Iwata wasn't around to see it, to see the Switch in general.
Yeah, but he sees it right now. He knows what's up, man. I believe that.
I just remember he was a part of everything.
Oh, for sure.
On the Switch. So, man. What an amazing year, right? I mean, we did a top 5s last year, and I was debating doing top 20s this year.
Yeah, I know.
I'm serious.
It's tough.
I mean, like I said, this does not mean that there's it's so hard to narrow it down, is what I'm saying. All the other, there's so many amazing games, you know.
I was going to say, I mean, I had my honorable mention, so pretty much for me,
Yeah.
number 10 was like, all right, what's going to sneak in the last slot here? And it was between, obviously, I went Slime Son, Cave Story, Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Snipper Clips, Aces of Luftwaffe, Blossom Tail. Like, these were all games I was sort of debating to get on the list. They were right on the fringe. As far as Splatoon 2 goes, I know people might be like, how is that not in your top 10? Really great game. I love it a lot. But just to me, it was more Splatoon, which is definitely not a bad thing, but that's why it didn't make the list. Same with Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I think we should get into the games we wish we got to play.
Well, let me mention my honorable mentions real quick.
No.
So basically,
no, we don't want to hear them. No.
Yeah, number 24, Time Recoil. Number 23, Splasher. Number 22, Use Your Words. Number 21, Enter the Gungeon. 20, Snake Pass. 19, Mutant Mudds Collection. 18, Blossom Tales. 17, Slime Son. 16, Thumper. 15, SteamWorld Dig 2. Number 14, Blaster Master 0. Number 13, Resident Evil Revelations. Number 12, Neon Chrome. And coming in at number 11, this was a very hard decision, and that was Mario and Rabbids. I really love this game, but the reason it wasn't in my top 10 was because of and I'll be talking about this next week. In fact, I'm just going to save that discussion for next week of why.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Now
games we wish we played or played more of.
Yep. Now I've got 3 games, and
okay, I have 5.
All right, 2 of them I have not played at all, and 1 I played a very little bit about. The one I barely played was Metroid: Samus Returns. I would like to get back to that game at some point. SteamWorld Dig 2 is very much a game I'm interested in that could have definitely been in consideration, And then Dragon Quest 8, which came out in the 3DS. I have it, but have not gotten around to playing it yet.
Yep. No one blames you, buddy.
Yeah, it's tough to go back to that 3DS.
It really is, I don't know why, though, but it just is. It's because I want to play my Switch, and I have so many games, and, on the Switch. Anyway, my honorable mentions, number 5, Ever Oasis. I really am interested in that game. I really hope there's a Switch port or something like that. Was that heavily touch-based?
I don't think really at all.
Could you foresee a Switch port? Or no?
I could, maybe. I mean, I don't think it sold very well, so I doubt they will. Like, I think it sold, terribly.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's like, either put that as in don't port it, or maybe that's a reason to port it. But yeah, you're right. It's probably... number 4, Samus Returns. I played probably 2 to 3 hours of this. And honestly, it did not hook me. It really didn't. I'm not a big fan, and we were chatting with David about this today. Not a big fan of the counter attack. I think it was kind of awkward and heavily like a super big part of the game, and it's just kind of like, I don't know. It just became like kind of a chore, and it's hard. Like,
yeah, the timing, right?
I would get hit all the time. The timing was weird. I don't know, but I mean, of course, I still like the game and everything, but I would like to finish that. Number 3, Axiom Verge. I haven't played it yet. Haven't even, started it at all. Really want to play that game. Number 2, Stardew Valley. I've played maybe an hour of it. It has not hooked me at all yet, but I haven't given up on it or anything. I just really want to play that. Number 1, Xenoblade 2. A game that it's just one of those things where I do want to play it, of course. It's just a time commitment. It's a money commitment, and it's just something that right now I hadn't had time for. So,
I know that feeling all too much.
yeah, I know. It's one of those things where I will play it eventually, and it sucks that I won't be part of the conversation, but also it'll be nice to have your experience that I can talk to you about to help me to maybe save some time or have better strategies or
Yep.
Yeah. But that's it. There you go.
All right, now that brings our top 10 and game of the year to a close. But real quick, I know we're getting a little long in the tooth here. We've got a couple of emails to go over real quick. I'll take the first one. You take the second one. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right. Hey, guys, you said you wanted to email and you'd be talking about top 10 games, so I thought I would send mine in.
No, wait, who is this?
Yeah, I was just going to say, probably be smarter to say who this is. This is our friend Lemonade, a.k.a. Luke. We play some games with him. Awesome dude from Australia. And he wrote in.
From down under? He has the clock?
Yeah, he's got that epic clock. Now, I'm going to go 10 to 1. We've got Arms at 10. Number 9.
No.
What's up? Oh, gotcha.
No.
I thought you said, no, don't do it. I was like, wait, what?
No, I was just making sure we put the theme in there. Okay.
Number 9, Chicken Wiggle. Another Chicken Wiggle. Number 8,
Woo!
Mario Party Top 100.
Oh, my goodness,
Number 7,
yes.
Cat Quest.
Interesting.
Number 6, Mario and Rabbids. Number 5, Splatoon 2.
Beautiful.
Number 4, Ever Oasis.
There
Very
you
nice.
go.
Number 3, Nintendo. Life is Strange Before the Storm.
Okay, so that is the Nintendo.
Yep. Number 2, Mario Odyssey. And number 1, Breath of the
Vroom in
Wild.
the night. Oh.
Someone's got to put it up there, right? Number 1, Breath of the Wild. He went on to say there were so many great games out in 2017, it was really hard to decide on the list. There were more than 10 games I wanted to put on it. We know your pain. Then it's even easier to decide that order. Even harder to decide that order. The hardest was where to put Odyssey and Mario plus Rabbids. I spent much more time with Rabbids and really enjoyed it, but I thought Odyssey is probably better overall. Thank you for writing in, Lemonade. We always appreciate it. And you've got another friend of the show.
Wait to talk about Rabbids. Yes. Good old Dan Vella. He sent us his top 10 because I told him to.
You better.
And I'll start with number 10, which is amazing, and that's Pinball FX3.
Boom.
Number 9, Thimbleweed Park. Ooh, that's a game I wanted to play as well. Adventure game from the Monkey Island guy. Definitely need to put that on my radar. Number 8, SteamWorld Dig 2. Number 7, Rocket League.
That's funny that his is Rocket League is 7. All of our triple 7s.
That's insane. You're right. That's crazy. Interesting. Number 6, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Number 5, Xenoblade. Number 4, ARMS. Same with me.
You guys are in sync.
Yep. We are in sync. The band. The boy band. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kicking it in heaven. And number 3 is Mario. I don't know which Mario.
Odyssey.
He probably meant Mario Party.
Yeah, top 100.
Top 100, I mean. Zelda. I don't know which Zelda. And then Splatoon 2. This is number 1.
It's a good list.
Good man. Heck yeah, buddy.
And I also have,
All right.
real quick, Caitlin chimed in with her top 3 games, because those are the ones she's played.
Oh.
Number 3, Snake Pass. Number 2, Snipper Clips. And taking Caitlin's Game of the Year, Tumblestone.
Okay.
Yeah, I was talking top 10s and
Tumblestone. That's funny. I was thinking of the other.
the Tumble Seed.
Tumbleseed.
Nope.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
She's a
Tumblestone.
Tumblestone.
Okay. Cool. Thank you, Kate.
Boom.
Now,
I think
before we end the show, this is a landmark moment.
Well, I was going to say, actually, real quick before we do this, do we want to save this for another episode, like next week, because we're so busy? Like, I can cut and paste into the next one, or do you just want to do this?
Let's just do it. Let's do it.
All right, so,
yeah,
as you were.
Okay. It's time for the return of the Craigslist Roundup.
Craigslist Roundup.
Now, this is cool because I have one, but making his Craigslist Roundup debut, it's Casey Gibbons.
That's right.
Right here.
Casey List Roundup.
Case's List Roundup. There you go. What do you got? Now, this is a pretty good find.
And you know what the best part about this find was? It was literally given to me and texted to me. Like, I did no work aside from saying, "I will take these games, sir." My friend I guess they're cleaning out their apartment, and his fiance's brother was just about to toss these games right out in the garbage can, which is just bonkers because we've got a Super Nintendo with 5 controllers. I don't know why he got 5, but they all look like they're in pretty good shape. An N64 with 3 controllers. Then we've got Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong Country 2 times 2. There's 2 of those for some reason. Beavis and Butthead, Lion King.
I like how you wrote it. Beavis.
Yeah, the Beavis and Butthead. Lion King.
The Bivs.
Jungle Book, Mario Paint, Aladdin. Again, there were 2 copies of Aladdin. Mortal Kombat, Jeopardy, Toy Story, Super Mario Kart, and a knockoff N64 memory card. So, a couple of probably games you just end up tossing away, but a couple of really solid games in there too.
Heck yeah, man. A couple.
For free. For absolutely free.
Dude, Lion King and Toy Story? Heck yeah, man.
And he's gonna...
I'm serious.
He's gonna mail it to my house free of charge.
Who is this guy?
It couldn't have been any easier. Thanks, Carney.
That's great, man. All right, and I have a Craigslist find as well, which has been a long time. It's just, I'm telling you, I think I've just, the well has run dry where I live.
Well,
But
you cleaned
I
up
snagged
shop
one up.
already.
Yeah, exactly. I got a Game Boy Advance SP, one that I've never seen before, and it's an orange and green. The top screen of the system, like the top unit, is orange and the bottom is green, and it looks so cool.
Yeah, I saw that picture. I was like, oh man, look at that thing. Is that the Splatoon one?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Couldn't you imagine like a cool Game Boy Advance like pixel like side-scrolling?
Oh, sign me up, dude.
Splatoon game.
Little platformer.
Oh, it'd be so sweet. I feel like that's what Splasher would be. If it was like a side-scrolling game. But yeah. That plus 3 games. And they're just, I think it's Tetris that has its label torn off, and it just says Tetris on a sticker on it. So I think it's Tetris. It might be a secret code to a nuclear bomb. And we also have Wordtris. Have you heard of Wordtris?
I don't think so, no.
Well, next week I'll talk about it. And then we have a compilation thing, Scrabble Jr., Sorry, and Aggravation. So, yeah. That plus the SP was $25. And I really don't know what that SP is going for, but I imagine it's probably around 30 or 40. So it's not a huge thing. It's just I thought it was so cool, and I liked it a lot. So.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't even sell that thing. I keep that puppy.
Oh no, yeah, I have a black, a red, a blue, the Who Are You one, and my sweet AGS 101 with the backlit screen. Oh baby, that's an amazing game.
Yeah, you're ready to rock and roll, dude.
So I got my Game Boy Advances, and they'll come in handy for our Zelda Four Swords thing. So yeah, I guess I'm looking online. They're around $50, $50 to $60 for that unit. So a little more than I thought.
Oh, that's not too bad at all.
So yeah. But that's it. That's it for the Craigslist Roundup, and that's it for this gigantic show.
Yep. We knew Game of the Year was going to be a long one.
That's right. We did know it coming in, but let's not drag this out any longer. You can find us, our podcast, at Talk Nintendo Pod on Twitter. That's Talk Nintendo POD. And of course, you can find all of our reviews and all of our wonderful news and stuff at our beautiful website, NintendoWorldReport.com. And of course, you should write us some reviews on iTunes.
Yes, that'd be greatly appreciated. And again, another big thanks to everyone that wrote in. We always appreciate a good email, especially...
Thank you, Holden and Lemonade and good old Dan.
Yep.
And of course, everyone else that always writes in.
Yes, no, thank you, everyone, for sure. We appreciate that, and I think that better just be on it, huh? We better hit the old Dusty.
Let's hit the dusty road.
Ooh-wee. See you next week, ladies and gentlemen. Giddy up.
Goodbye. Giddy up.
Trying to get you too.
Where road rage becomes raging fun.
And the video starts up. This guy just chucking a paper airplane out the window.
It takes place in Donnerock in the state of Noctum.
But
Yeah.
number 10 goes to Slime Song.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, now this.
Heck yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I
know, I
snapped
know, with
during
the
my
snaps.
first ones.
I totally understood. It was just so funny. I'm like, okay, sorry.
Chicken Wiggle.
Woo!
Yes.
Woo!
And I will. Dude, oh, yeah.